Lore dump.
Hello, and welcome to Lore Dump, the show where I take a friend of mine who hasn't played any of the particular games or game franchises and walk them through the full story. This time we are, due to popular demand, covering Kingdom Hearts in its entirety. Yes.
Pain!
As always, I'm joined by my friend Chase.
Hi.
And this episode of Lore Dump is going to be slightly different. Essentially, I have not played all of the Kingdom Hearts games. I don't particularly like...
Fucking poser. Want to make videos on it. Hasn't even played them all.
I've played the ones that I've covered. I've played 1, I've played 2, I've played 3, and I've played Birth by Sleep. And
hasn't even played the mobile games. Come on, man.
And I don't like them, but I also don't remember. I like 2 quite a lot, but I don't remember much at all about the story. You reminding me of things while you were writing this reminded me how little I actually remember, so I'm quite excited to be reminded of things.
Thank God.
So yes, Chase is going to be walking us through the story this time. However, normally when I'm walking someone through the story, Chase doesn't know anything at all about the games. For example, when we did Resident Evil, or we did Metal Gear Solid.
This time I know everything about the games.
This time you know everything about the games ever. And so that we still get that fresh experience of somebody who knows nothing about a series or franchise having that exposed to them, we've got a third guest, and I brought in my friend Neil into the podcast.
Hello.
Hello. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm today's witless idiot. Yeah, this is good.
I don't think he knows what he's signed up for.
Legit.
I know that it's my whole weekend.
Yeah. So Chase is going to be walking us both through every game in the franchise with the exception of the mobile games. Is that correct?
I will be covering the entirety of Phase 1 for those of you who that means anything to.
Okay.
Which is everything from Kingdom Hearts 1 through to 3.
How many phases are there?
2 currently. We're mid Phase 2 at current.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that. Neil, what do you know about Kingdom Hearts?
Monty, I know very little about Kingdom Hearts. I know there are Keyblades.
Oh.
I know hearts.
Cool.
I know darkness.
Cool.
I think it's Final Fantasy stuff, maybe, and it's Disney.
A little bit.
And I know that there are hilarious scenes where it's a very sincere scene, but maybe Mickey Mouse is just hanging out in the background.
Pretty much.
It gets so much worse with that the farther you into the series you go, where it's meant to be super, super, like, emotional scenes, and then they say something like, but who am I going to eat ice cream with?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I like who am I going to eat ice cream with.
See,
Yeah.
in context, you sob.
Yeah.
Out of context, it's like, the fuck?
So basically, Chase, you're going to kick us off.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so we start off 20 years ago, next month. 20th anniversary. Monty didn't know this when he scheduled it.
No, I didn't.
This was a pleasant little coincidence for him that we're doing it on the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
But 20th of March 2002, a small little game comes out, a partnership of Square Enix and good old Disney. They wanted to put Disney characters in their Final Fantasy games, and we got Kingdom Hearts 1.
Cool.
So,
yeah,
we open to a dive of Sora's heart. A dive is kind of a reoccurring theme in which we enter the heart of a character. Hearts. I'm going to very early explain hearts because they are the core of this entire franchise. It is called Kingdom Hearts after all.
Yeah.
Hearts are kind of a tangible thing in this universe. They are
As they are in our universe, to be honest.
You're right. But they're kind of like your soul, but also your emotional and memory soul as well. And they comprise everything you are as a person. Your body is not a thing. It is a container for your heart, and every...
Is your heart in your heart?
that was going to be my question. Do we all?
Is your heart your heart?
Does Sora have an organ heart?
Yes, and the organ is shaped like a pink gemstone.
Oh.
How does that affect the other internal organs? I wonder?
We don't question it. They all run on magic. Hearts in this universe pump magic through the rest of the veins.
Right.
But in this world, hearts are represented either in one of two ways. One is, like I said, a crystal heart that we tend to see floating about, or maybe just a ball of light. And the other is, as we see in the start, a stained glass platform. So you're asked a number of questions. This is Monty's favorite opening.
It might be one of the worst openings in video games of all time. I stand by that.
Whilst I don't... wrong. Whilst I do agree from like a gameplay standpoint that it's very dated, it's also one of the single most iconic openings in video game history.
Yeah.
But you answer a bunch of questions about who you want to be, before ultimately a massive black humanoid creature called a dark side appears, which you fight and kill, falling into sleep and then waking up. So our character is Sora. This is our happy boy right here on the left. And he wakens on a beach.
Very happy, like disturbingly happy.
Yeah. He's too happy for his own good, to be honest. It's a bit unsafe for him.
From what it sounds like he might be going through. I mean, it seems a little forced.
Somehow he maintains the happy, but it's up and down. So he's a roller coaster. But he wakes on the beach where we meet his two best friends, Kairi, the white bread love interest, and Riku, the first of many edgy boys. So they want to leave their island. They see it kind of as there's worlds out there they want to adventure. And this island is called the Destiny Island. It's beautiful. It's also probably the single most reoccurring locale in this series, so keep in mind. So meanwhile, we get a cutaway to our fantastic lads, Donald Duck and Goofy. In this world, Donald Duck is the chief wizard of Disney Castle, while Goofy is the head of the guard. And they serve...
Why's Donald got a higher position of authority?
Would you trust Goofy?
Yes. Goofy has a giga brain.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He's a giga Chad.
So I don't want to derail us too quickly.
That's fine.
Apologies. Is this the same Donald and Goofy that we see on our screens on Saturday morning TV?
Of course it is.
So they're also doing this in their spare time?
Yes. See, in this world,
is the Goofy movie canon in this universe?
You know, man.
Is Goofy a dad?
Goofy fucks. Goofy fucks.
I can't. I hate this series of
But, yeah, so they serve the king of Disney Castle, of course, King Mickey Mouse.
Of course.
So Donald is doing his, usual wizard duties. He goes to the king's chamber, but the king's gone. And he's left a letter.
Oh, no. Mickey's gone.
Oh, yes, King Mickey. He's gone. And Donald frantically goes to meet up with Goofy, where they learn that fucking rat has seen that trouble is a brewing. Stars are going out in the sky. And I know, it's not great.
Oh, no.
And he's gone off to investigate what's going on.
Okay.
And he tells these two, you gotta go find the key. Go to this place called Traverstown, and Leon is there. He'll help you.
Keyblade or the key?
He just says a key.
Okay, so we don't know what that is.
He doesn't
yet.
say anything about
Do
a key.
these two know what it is?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Questionable, honestly, because, minor spoiler, as we'll learn later, Mickey himself has a Keyblade. So you'd think that he'd potentially be waving around the castle, but we also see several times where, from the past, we'll again get that later, where they have no clue that, the Keyblade's
just a generally unhelpful start from Mickey.
I know. Mickey, he just kind of sends them off. So back on Disney Island, you're going to build a raft with your pals. You run around gathering mushrooms,
mushrooms for your raft,
fish, wood. Well, it's your food.
I see. That
because
makes sense.
Of course, for your
so they do need to eat.
For your however many day journey across the ocean, you bring I think 3 mushrooms, a single canteen of water, and 2 fish.
And this is a gameplay mechanic as well.
Oh well, no.
Oh, right, okay.
No.
Are there adults on the island? I've always wondered this. Does Sora have parents?
Yes, because as we'll get to in a minute, they go home after they finish the raft,
right?
And there's an ongoing meme that Sora's mom calls him downstairs for dinner.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Well, I'll get that 1 second.
So this is sort of a Pokemon thing where you've got children of a wildly inappropriate age just being sent out.
Yeah.
Well,
the parents.
We'll get there. Their parents didn't send them.
Right.
But
okay.
We're jumping ahead.
Cool.
But so this cloaked dude kind of shows up on the island for some reason, and he stood in this cave, where Sora has a lot of memories. right in front of a wooden door. And he looks at Sora and he kind of says, "This world has been connected," and then just disappears. And Sora's like, cool, bro, and yeets out of that cave. You do more shit. You race Riku to a raft. And you two are fighting over sharing a Paopu fruit with Kairi. These Paopu fruits are another reoccurring theme in the series. It's a fruit people say that if you share them, your destinies intertwine and you'll always be together. So, of course, Riku and Mickey, they both want generic white bread love interest.
Wait, Riku and Mickey? Does Mickey fancy Kairi?
Oh no, I'm already mixing up. There's only 5 characters right now and I'm already mixing them up. We've not even gotten to the 13 and the 7. But,
So just to circle back,
yes.
Our 2 main male characters both would like for white bread love interest to share the fruit with them. Is that what you're
exactly.
saying? Right, okay.
They both want to. It's kind of a romantic gesture.
Is it a metaphor?
It will become later.
Okay.
As of right now, it's kind of just they want the love interest.
Cool.
It does later
So
become
you can't just share this bit
a
of fruit.
metaphor of their oaths to
I feel like you could
always be with each other.
split this piece of... There are 5 bits of the star.
Okay,
like
but
5 people
can
have
you
this.
not read the quote? If 2 people share one,
But who says
Not 3.
that? Where does that information come from?
it comes from the game. It's the legend. It's the legend passed down through the Islanders.
It's
Okay,
a very sort
right.
of monogamous legend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. But polyamory is not... No polycules on this island. But you end up heading home, raft done, preparations complete, you're ready to set out the next day. And you go home. Now, this is... I will tell you, because you asked, the Destiny Island that we see in Kingdom Hearts 1 is only one of a series of islands. And there is a main island with a town where they all live.
What?
Yeah. They do show this town in Kingdom Hearts 2.
What?
They show the town in Kingdom Hearts 2. Weirdly, they did kind of retcon it into existence, because in Kingdom Hearts 1, you look out at the water and it's just nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas in Kingdom Hearts 2, when you see it, the Destiny Island itself is literally like maybe a 5-minute swim off the main island. You should absolutely be able to see it from the shore of Destiny Island, and you never see it in any other game.
So where do they want to go on their raft if they could just swim to the next island?
They want to go away from
Away
the
from
islands.
the islands,
The islands
Monty.
are a prison, Monty.
But where do they want to go?
To other worlds.
Through a raft?
Well, for some reason, they've gotten into their heads that there's other worlds out there.
You're doing my job.
Sorry,
You've
I
played
don't know
these.
this.
Yeah, no. So they've somehow, especially Riku, has gotten into his head that there's other worlds out there, and they want to set out and find these other worlds, go on a great adventure. But in the middle of the night, Sora's woken by a huge storm. His mom calls him down to dinner, and but because he's worried about the raft in the storm, he ignores his mom's calls for dinner and goes to the island.
Cool.
Huge storm. When he arrives, he finds the island overrun by these violent black creatures. And he tries to fight them off kind of with a stick, but nothing's really happening. And he first finds our sweet boy Riku. But instead of kind of being a normal dude, Riku kind of puts his hand out and he's like, "Hey, bro, come join the darkness." And it's like, "Riku, the fuck's going on, man?" And he's like, nah, man. The darkness ain't dangerous. It's gonna take us away from the island. This is our new raft. Fuck the old raft. Darkness is our new raft.
So is darkness a tangible thing like hearts?
Okay. This is the second core concept, light and darkness. They are very tangible.
Right.
And as we, minor spoiler, later learn, also conscious.
Right.
So the concept of light, as in light,
is
a
physical,
conscious...
tangible energy in the universe that contradicts the physical, tangible energy of darkness.
Okay.
And your heart can be aligned kind of with either light or darkness by becoming filled with that energy.
Right.
Okay, so it's kind of the Force.
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda, yeah.
Cool.
Except with more black goo for darkness, more shiny white light for light.
Fair.
But, yeah, so Riku kind of just gets engulfed by a darkness and yeets away. Riku's gone. And Sora finds himself holding a sword-like key that has just come from a light as Riku gets involved in the darkness.
His shoes are massive.
Yeah, don't worry.
Clown shoes.
As the series goes on, they do slowly shrink down to a normal size.
Is that a metaphor?
Same with his balloon pants. His clothes become more and more. Square has such a thing for putting like fashion show level clothing in their games.
I know that it's like anime design. What is that belt doing?
It's
You're wearing a like jumpsuit.
My favorite thing is how he already had a like Kingdom Hearts crown necklace and belt chain before he got the key. He was prepared. It was his destiny.
Poor Riku. You always think the characters in this situation, why did you think this was a good idea?
Yeah.
Come and join the engulfing darkness. It tells me it's a good idea.
Oh man, we are not even one page in.
Keep going.
But so Sora wanders around the cave more and ends up in that dark cave. The one where he found the hooded man earlier, where he finds Kairi. And then suddenly the door blows open and she blasts forward and phases through Sora as he as well is blown out of the cave.
So she's a ghost now. Okay.
Okay.
She kind of just, for some reason, you know, she
out
looks like Kairi, and then she kind of gets blown into Sora, but instead of just kind of knocking into him, she just kind of goes through him.
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Quickly learning to just accept things at this point.
So, back, we cut back, now that Sora's kind of been pushed out of this cave and blacks out. We cut back to Donald and Goofy, who look up into the sky, and they notice a star extinguish. Oofed.
Dark.
Yeah,
I know.
That's a horrific concept.
So, when Sora wakes up, he finds himself in the alley of some random new city, being licked by a lovely dog, Pluto.
Oh.
Mickey's dog.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, they're all here. They're all here. So he doesn't know where he is, but he kind of goes, "This ain't Destiny Islands. Oh shit. The raft worked. We made it to another."
Why would he think that's what's happened?
Does he not remember Riku being engulfed by darkness?
Yeah. I mean, then
They didn't get on the raft.
He blacked out, so maybe the new raft, maybe darkness rafted him over.
Right.
So as he's running around town, he bumps into Leon from Final Fantasy VIII and Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
Because Square had to put their own characters in here. If we're going to get a nice conglomerate of Disney characters, we also need a nice, much smaller, because Disney holds the reins at this point, but a much smaller contingent of Final Fantasy characters. Leon, he's not here for Sora, beats the living shit out of him, and Sora passes out.
Excuse me?
It's
Leon
great.
is
Because,
why?
Because you find him, and you go into a battle with him, and of course at this point you're like, oh shit, I gotta beat off this random dude. But it's one of those stupid video game fights that you're meant to lose, because Leon beats the shit out of you.
Why was either of their instinct to start fighting each other?
Does Sora have a stick? What's he hitting him with?
He has his Keyblade at this point.
Oh, he gets his Keyblade.
Yeah, he has his Keyblade at this point. Which Leon sees the Keyblade and he's like, oh, fuck. And beats the shit out of Sora.
Just for context, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, and I know quite a little about it. I know the characters, generally, from the sort of major games. That gunblade is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't want to piss anyone off. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did you know those actually exist in real life?
What?
I mean,
there are
they clearly weren't very effective.
No.
Or
they're cool though. They're cool.
Yeah.
It might not be practical, but it looks dope as hell.
It does look good.
But smash cut to Riku, who awakens and finds himself on this weird rocky platform. He's surrounded by waterfalls. He's looking around, can't see anyone, but the camera zooms out, and we see Maleficent watching him from the tower. So then we, of course, smash cut again to our sweet boys, Donald and Goofy, incredibly incompetently looking for Sora. They're wandering around town. They can't really find him. And they end up running into then Aerith, also from Final Fantasy VII. Oh shit, she's not dead this time. Oops, Final Fantasy VII spoilers. Gasp. So Sora wakes up in the hotel room and he looks over and he sees Kairi. But it's not Kairi. Oops. She phases, and it's Yuffie. Yuffie tells us that the creatures are after him because he's wielding the Keyblade. They want the Keyblade. Well, they don't want the Keyblade itself, but they want the heart of whoever has a Keyblade.
Right.
So why were they after them at the start before they had the Keyblade?
Because the Keyblade... because on Destiny Islands, that was because it had fallen to darkness.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So the worlds as well as people also have hearts. And those hearts can also fall to either light or darkness, which causes them to phase between two separate realms, the realms of light and darkness. Okay. So the Destiny Islands, for reasons unknown at this point, falls into darkness, which is why all the Heartless started appearing
Right.
And that good stuff, and why Riku was like, darkness, and ran away.
Cool, okay.
So Leon comes back, he's like, Soz bro, didn't mean to beat you up. Kinda did. We had to get the Keyblade off you, or they were gonna keep coming. But Leon can't really believe that Sora's the chosen one. He kind of looks at this little shit, and he's like, the fuck? Why did it choose you? Because it's like a Harry Potter wand. The Keyblade chose its wielder.
Right.
And it's chosen a small boy with big shoes.
Exactly. Who has the power of light to beat away the darkness with his big key.
Why did it choose him? Just because he's so pure?
We might find out about that.
Sorry,
later.
I actually don't.
It just chosen, man.
Oh, okay.
It just chosen.
Okay.
Sora is the chosen one. Just go with chosen one plot.
Cool. No problem.
But the scene gets really trippy as it keeps jumping between the two hotel rooms, because guess what? Donald and Goofy are in the hotel room literally right next to Sora. They've been looking for Sora because he has the key. He's looking for any information, but they never meet, and it keeps cutting back and forth as they're explaining the good old exposition, saying how there's loads of worlds out there, similar to Disney Castle, the Twilight, the Destiny Islands, Traverse Town, and Goofy does mention here that, why do you know this? He knows that there are other worlds, but that's supposed to be like a big secret, which actually, now that I say that, does mean that he knows about the Keyblade.
Right.
In prior, because that's a Keyblade secret, is the existence of other worlds.
Got you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
okay.
these are other universes or realities? Planets?
They're closer to planets. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They kind of float in a big
Disney space.
A big Disney space. Yeah.
This is
kind of separated by barriers, and of course each of them has hearts. Mm-hmm. So what has been happening is that they weren't connected. They were all separated by barriers, but something happened. The barriers are starting to break down, and worlds are starting to fall to darkness, just like the Destiny Islands did, which is why all those stars have been flipping out that Mickey went to investigate.
And is that why, like, Disney characters are meeting Final Fantasy characters and they're all overlapping?
Well, so they're currently in Traverse Town, which Traverse Town essentially is... It's kind of like the room of requirement in Harry Potter that comes to those who need it.
Cool.
In that it is, if you end up somehow surviving your world falling into darkness, you'll wind up in Traverse Town.
Right.
Okay, so all the sort of refugees almost of
exactly,
war end up in Traverse Town.
Exactly, yeah. So you've got
like
these
a
three.
sad place, man.
Yeah.
It's got some pretty bumping music. You know?
It does.
They seem pretty happy. But you see a bunch of people. Scrooge McDuck and the three Huey, Dewey, and Louie are there. Uncle Donald, Goofy, Sora.
Of course, Scrooge made it. Of course, it's always the fucking 1% that make it out, isn't it?
This is how we kind of get some exposition then about the little dark scary boys, which we now learn are called the Heartless, which they are beings without hearts. And because they don't have hearts, they're drawn to other people's hearts, and more specifically, they come from the darkness in people's hearts, and because they don't have hearts, they want your heart, so they come and they snatch your hearts, and kind of kill people off that way. You see several times them kind of jump on people, their hearts come out and they go gobble.
And what happens to them when they eat a heart?
They also become a Heartless, because then they don't have a heart.
But the Heartless aren't made hearted by eating a
heart.
No.
That heart just gets consumed by darkness, because the Heartless are just beings of pure darkness.
Right, okay.
They want hearts.
So they just want to consume. They're not looking for a heart to... They're
kind of like a plague of darkness, that they kind of just keep replicating themselves out like an unnamed virus.
Yeah.
What she then tells them is that there's this guy, Ansem. And Ansem was a scientist, and he wrote his PhD thesis on the Heartless and hearts, and he knows so much shit. But sadly, somebody came by, tore his thesis pieces, and scattered the pages everywhere.
Always back up.
I know, he did make a save. It's even funnier because we learn later that he has a computer. He could have saved it. He could have stuck it on his Google Drive. Put it in the cloud, but
no. He's one of these wankers that has to just use an old typewriter. Like, I do my best work like this.
Only for the most important papers. The generic shit that can go on the computer. But so they're kind of looking for his report because they think that it has. I've put a little note here saying that this very detailed report is going to be the bane of Monty's existence.
I hate these reports. Yeah, I've never found them. I've never looked them up. When I was playing the first game, Chase was sending me messages being like, actually, you'll find that in Ansem Reports number 11, it specifies that the Heartless are this thing. And I'm like, I don't understand the words you're using.
The original, just to kind of cut out of the story for 1 second. On a background of Lord Dump history, kind of the reason that we're doing Lord Dump in the first place is because one day, like 3 years ago, Monty messages me out of nowhere and he goes, "Hi Chase, I've bought this he bought the 1.5 plus 2.5 collector's pack. He's like, I bought these. I want to play 3 when it comes out. It sounds dope. And I've heard that there might be a couple other games. I know you've played these games. Can you give me some information?" I went, "Oh no. Oh, what rabbit hole have you just opened?"
So, somewhere a butterfly flaps its wings, and 3 years later, Neil is giving up a weekend.
Exactly. Because I lore dumped for the next 4 months to him as he played through these games, requiring him to give me daily updates on his progress through them, ultimately leading up to me coming over to watch him complete Kingdom Hearts 3. It was a joyous occasion.
I'd be like, "Chase, I don't understand what's happening. Why is this happening?" And you have to go, "There's a movie you need to watch, and there's this." And I was like, "I'm not."
Don't worry, we'll cover the movie. We'll cover the movie. Don't worry. But at that point, he swore he was never going to touch Kingdom Hearts again. So why we're sitting here now is beyond me. But you know. So kind of coming back, Leon tells us that the Heartless have this great fear of the Keyblade, and they want rid of it. And to get rid of it, they're trying to get rid of its wielder. Sora's all bummed. He's like, "I didn't choose this, but fuck you. Keyblades chose you." The hotel's attacked by Heartless, and they all kind of run out. They dash out. Hysterically, they smash the door open right in Donald's face. Donald gets smashed behind the door as the exact person he's running for, Sora, runs right past him, and they miss. He was just about to come meet him. What a bummer. But you wander around more, run away from more Heartless, and end up in a pavilion square thingy, I don't know how to call parts of a town, where Donald and Goofy fall from the sky right on top of Sora, look over and see that he has the key they've been looking for.
Why were they in the sky?
Because they're like on a higher platform, and then they kind of got blasted by Heartless, and then flop right down on Sora. And then you get a boss fight. And it's super cool. And we don't have a picture of the boss fight. Oh well. What a shame. It has like lots of interconnected pieces. The bosses in this game go up and down. This one's kind of shit, but
Wait, you just said it was really cool.
Well, it's cool as like the first thing that you ever see being it's not as cool as Darkseid. Darkseid's iconic. I like
we're looking at a picture of Darkseid right now. I like the lack of a heart, the sort of,
know, right?
But in the stomach.
I will,
but that's because they are eating hearts. So
I will say, just to plant a future thought in your head, and I'm not going to explain this. Darkseid is a different kind of Heartless from every other Heartless we see in this game.
Why?
He's a pureblood, and I'm just going to leave that thought to fester in your head.
No, what happens next?
How can there be anything other than pureblood? What are they?
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. So, Leon's like, bro, you gotta go lock up the hearts of the other worlds, save us from the Heartless. You have the Keyblade, only you can save the world. And Donald's like, bro, we got a spaceship. Come on with us. We got to...
Listen, they need a way to get to Mickey's Playhouse every Saturday.
It's a spaceship made of gummy bears. No way. Monty hates the gummy ship. I hate it in every game except for 3. I think it's fun in 3. And that's their spaceship, the gummy ship. You basically
look at those beautiful PS1 graphics.
It's PS2 actually.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, this is PS2, man. I feel like the gaps become so big that we don't actually remember what PS1 games looked like. PS1 games were.
PS1 games look better than this.
Yeah, there's about 6 polygons there. I can count them.
No. That intentionally looks like that because it's made of gummy blocks.
No, it's not. No.
So it is.
Don't defend this.
The ship is made of sweets.
Yeah,
sounds disgusting to be around.
You have a whole ship builder mini game where you get to build your ship out of gummy blocks.
I do love that.
To upgrade it. Yeah,
engineering.
The gummy ship's kind of garbage in every game except for 3. It's kind of fun in 3.
It's garbage in them all.
It's fun in 3.
Nah.
It's super. 3 has an open world that you gotta run around the gummy ship. It's great. But, Sora's hyped. He's like, oh shit, man. I'll go to other worlds. Riku and Kairi might be there. And Donald's like, but, I mean, we just need your key, but whatever you say, bro. Donald is a cunt in these games. Donald is actually the worst because he doesn't give a shit about Sora. He only wants Sora's key.
Wait, hold on. Do all of the, according to Kingdom Hearts, do all of the Final Fantasy games take place in the same world? Final Fantasy VII takes place in the same world as Final Fantasy 15.
Not all up. Don't even mention 15 because that actually has canonical relevance.
No, it doesn't.
15 has canonical relevance.
Get to it.
And we'll get to that.
So is there ever a point canonically in Final Fantasy where we see Leon after the events of this game and they go, bro, do you remember when we met Donald Duck? That was fucked, wasn't it?
These exist in their own world line, their own consciousness. The characters live together, not the games live together. Okay. They all have their same world. Anyhow, scene shifts and we see a table where all of our juicy Disney baddies, and you can't see their faces at this point. You definitely can't tell who they are from their voices. And they're kind of looking and they're like, oh shit, what are we going to do about this Keyblade? They're like, can we turn him to a Heartless? Nah. But Maleficent clearly seems like she is the leader of the shadowy council.
And it seems like they are, in some way, assisting or even enacting the darkness.
Well, they are fully aligned. They control the Heartless.
Oh, okay.
Well, more specifically, Maleficent controls the Heartless and kind of leases them out to the other bit Disney villains. Yeah. What they really want is they want to turn the Keyblade wielder over to the darkness so that they can control him.
It doesn't seem like Captain Hook would give a shit about this. Do you know what I mean? What's he getting out of this?
Weirdly, Captain Hook is in probably the only important Disney World. There's only really one Disney World that's actually important in this game, and it's his.
It just seems like counter to what he just wants plunder.
To be fair, let's be real, he's not even really the villain of his own Disney World.
No, he's not.
No.
Peter Pan is.
Oh.
That little shit.
I rant about him and I hate him. Anyway, first world, Wonderland. The Disney worlds, the meat and potatoes of each Kingdom Hearts game. Why did I write that?
I like it.
Here's the thing about the Disney worlds, is for as much as this is first and foremost a Disney game and a merchandising opportunity, the plots of 99% of the Disney worlds just don't matter to the plot at all.
It's just setting.
You get, it vaguely builds out Sora's idea that hearts are important and there's darkness and, there's some shadowy villains. So I do go into them a bit more in detail in this game, but in most games going forward, I'm kind of like, yeah, we go here. Here's your villain. Here's your boss. Other important shit happens. But yeah, you're here, save Alice from getting her head chopped off. Again, they need to come in where Sora learns that we can't tell anybody about the worlds, and we're also not meant to intervene with the worlds. So Sora's kind of immediately coming in here and breaking that by...
So we save Alice from getting her head chopped off. Is this the same story that happened in the film?
Yeah, so that's the thing.
So there's the timeline of the film, and you have changed the timeline by coming in? But Alice already didn't get her head cut off.
We don't question the timelines of the films in relation to these games because very often plots repeat themselves in 2-3 games.
Specifically, Neil, and to the risk of jumping in here, Kingdom Hearts 3 is notoriously terrible for this. You go to a frozen world in Kingdom Hearts 3, and there is a moment from the movie where it is, they've just taken the scene from the film, and Sora is in the background being about.
I'll show it to you the next time we break. It is straight up. The scene, angle for angle, replicated animation, and they've green screen Sora into it.
It's incredibly impressive. They haven't stolen it from the movie. They have remade it, but they have remade it to a T, and Sora and Donald and Goofy are just floating about the scene.
It's very funny.
It's very funny.
There are some relevant Disney worlds, and I'll talk about those when we get there.
So we're in Wonderland. We've saved Alice.
And Sora, the doorknob, goes, yawns, and shit, there's a keyhole. Sora... Nah, don't worry, he doesn't need to shove his key in. He kind of points it at it, and lasers shoot out the end of his keyblade into the thing. He shoots it with a laser. We hear a nice little click. and Sora has no clue what he's just done, and they fuck off.
Cool. Good job, Sora.
You kind of saved... I mean, Alice is now gone. Like, you saved her, but then she went missing, so...
She's off to complete her movie, basically.
Well, no, she's just gone missing. That's important. She's gone missing.
Oh, okay.
And then we go to Olympus Coliseum, which is the worst world in this and every fucking Kingdom Hearts game it appears in.
Wrong. Kingdom Hearts 3 is incredible.
Just for context.
It is okay in Kingdom Hearts 3.
For context for the listeners, Monty's favourite Disney movie, am I right?
My
Hercules?
favourite Disney movie of all time. Yes, it's the first present that the Nubis bought me.
Also, for the sake of the audience, I do know that there are now, as you're flying around the world in your gummy ship, there are diverging paths.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with the order that the cutscene compilation that I watched had them in.
Cool.
Except for like one game where things happen and I don't know why there was branching paths. Anyhow, Olympus Coliseum, you meet Phil, he's all, "You're not a hero." And he's looking for Herc, gives you a nice shot at his ass.
I would never, as a child, have imagined quite how much of Danny DeVito's ass I would have seen as I gotten older.
But he's running a Coliseum, but it's for heroes only. Fuck off, Sora.
It's like a guy doing a Danny DeVito impersonation as well, isn't it? It's
I
not
think
Danny
so.
DeVito.
I don't think it is actually Danny DeVito in this one.
I think they bring back the voice actors from a lot of the Disney movies to replicate themselves again, but not Danny DeVito. So it's some guy going, "Hey kid, I'm Danny DeVito." And you're like, "No, you're not."
They get Joe Pesci into it.
Sora's all, "Oh shit, man! I wanted to go compete in that Coliseum," and luckily he walks outside and he sees Hades, and Hades like, "Well, get lucky you. Here's a participant's pass."
Good guy, Hades.
And Sora walks back and he's like, "Nah, bro, I am a hero. Look at my past." And Phil's like, "Well, I guess."
As a matter of fact, why does Hades want this to happen? He's
Oh,
Lord of the Underworld.
Yeah.
He needs dead people coming in. Yeah. If there are no more dead people because they're all being turned into...
Well, there is a very explicit difference between death and becoming a Heartless. You do not die when you become a Heartless.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's no one who dies because they all get turned into Heartless instead, how's he got new people coming in?
Exactly. His business is being ruined.
So why is he working with the baddies then?
He has his own motivations.
Okay. All right.
His motivations, of course, being that he fucking hates Hercules. He wants Hercules dead. And he's actually hired Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
No, he hasn't.
He's hired Cloud.
How did he do that?
Oh, bro. He's hired Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, who he's like, so he hired him to kill Hercules, but he's also like, "Oh shit, Sora's here. I guess that was also a thing I was meant to do. Go kill Sora too."
Yeah.
Is Cloud just in the business at this point of being hired to...
He is a mercenary.
Yeah, but like,
in game.
Generally, I don't remember just killing any contract that comes his way. Like,
No, but, Hades...
He does kill shitter employees pretty easily.
He does, yeah.
Pretty happily.
Okay, right.
But, of course, you don't kill, you defeat Cloud, and Hades is like, "God damn it," and sends in Cerberus. Herc finally appears, saves you from all that. You kill Cerberus, and Phil dubs you Junior Heroes.
Your junior heroes.
Yeah, Junior Heroes.
Yeah.
Seems a bit condescending,
Yeah.
given what's just happened.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Phil is condescending. Phil is just a dick.
Yeah.
And then, of course, right under this block that Phil was standing on, Phil has finally moved this block. He's been trying to move this block this whole game. And there's the keyhole. Wow, it was in there the whole time.
With the image I'm looking at right now of Phil, I don't want to think about the keyhole.
But, as you're leaving as well, just a little fun note. Cloud's like, "I'm looking for somebody. I tried to use darkness, but it backfired. And now there's a darkness version of me, and it's Sephiroth." Because for some reason in Kingdom Hearts canon, Sephiroth is the dark side of Cloud.
Is that canon in the Final Fantasy games?
No. Not at all.
So these
Also,
aren't
Cloud's personality in the Kingdom Hearts games is significantly edgier than actual Cloud in the games.
He's not likable in the Kingdom Hearts games.
he's kind of a dick.
So these aren't the same people.
They kind of are, but like, don't honestly. I think you can back me up on this. For now, don't think about Final Fantasy. It's so unimportant. It's as important as the Disney stuff.
Really, Final Fantasy doesn't, outside of thinking that the Kingdom Hearts original characters are considerably more like Final Fantasy characters than the Disney characters, Final Fantasy is not relevant until like almost phase 2.
Right. Cool.
At that point, Final Fantasy becomes stupidly relevant, but we'll get there. But Sephiroth, he's never an explicit part, but he is a challenge boss, and he is an absolute cunt to beat. He's the hardest boss in this game. He's the hardest boss in the next game. I forget if he shows up in 3, but if he does, he's probably the hardest fucking boss in that one,
He's optional, though, right?
He is optional.
Yeah.
Basically, you can come back and you can do, like, the Coliseum has, like, rounds. You can come, like, do rounds of the Coliseum, and at the very top of the pinnacle, you fight Sephiroth.
Cool.
And he's so hard. But as you leave, you see a nice shot of Maleficent and Hades, kind of giving the impression that Maleficent's controlling a lot more than just, like, the Shadow Council. She might be kind of weaseling her fingers in other worlds.
Does Maleficent seem pissed with Hades?
No, not really. I mean, she kind of thinks he's incompetent, but I mean, he's kind of there mumbling the whole time. He's like, I gotta beat her. And it's like, clearly he didn't really care about Maleficent's plan. He was just using her Heartless because they were
I don't know why you thought Iron Cloud would do anything. You know?
Well, because Cloud has a big sword.
Yeah, it's not going to beat Hercules, is it? A little boy just beat up Cloud, and then Hercules had to save the little boy.
Well, the big boy had a key and the power of hearts.
for all of the reasons why I hate Kingdom Hearts, I think the number one at the very top of my list is not the gummy ship. It's the fact that they nerf Cloud. They make him such a wet wash. Oh, God,
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyway, next up, we're in Deep Jungle. I wrote so much more than is actually relevant to say here, because almost nothing happens important here. It's the Tarzan movie. You wander around, you find Tarzan, you fight a jaguar. Let me see if there's literally anything important in here.
And Tarzan's kind of done for helping you?
Yeah.
Tarzan doesn't speak English, mate, so...
Yeah, I know, I'm aware.
He's just a bat.
He doesn't speak English, but they connect through their hearts.
They do. It's sweet, though, actually. I remember that scene.
They connect through their hearts. There is one important scene in here wherein Sora's at the camp, and Jane is showing him a slideshow of images. And one specifically comes up, and it's a castle in a forest. And Sora's like, why does that look familiar? I recognize that place. But, of course, Sora's never been off his island. Why the fuck would he recognize a castle?
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
I haven't a clue what that is, and I've played this game.
Okay.
It's a little wink, little hint.
Interesting, okay.
A little nugget.
Tease.
Ultimately, though, Clayton finds out that he's been colluding with the Heartless. You beat him on the worst boss fight of my childhood. I hated this fight, where he's all like a chameleon that goes invisible. It's hard as hell for a child, and then I played it back like 2 years ago, and it's the easiest fight in the game. Tarzan brings him to a waterfall. There's a keyhole. Sora locks the keyhole. Good shit. We come back to the Shadow Council, and she's saying, and Maleficent is kind of saying that not only can like the Heartless drag you into the darkness, but also if you're evil and if you collude too much with the darkness itself might kind of just seep in and take you over anyway.
Well, how has that not happened to her? She's entirely given herself over to helping them.
So she walks the finest of lines with the darkness in that she can control it.
Right.
And is on the fucking teetering point.
So she's an exception because she's very powerful in magic.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
She is
It just seems like
possibly the most powerful magic user in the series. Maybe second to either Merlin or the Fairy Godmother.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember that distinctly being the case, that like Maleficent is like, until shit gets really real later, Maleficent is like the most powerful being there.
Even later, she is still the most powerful magic user in this, like even in 3, and even past 3, I'll get there.
Right, okay.
But, just wait till she starts time traveling.
Oh boy, can't wait.
But at this point, they're kind of like, oh shit, Sora might actually be a problem. Before saying that, but Maleficent calms them down and is like, don't worry. We have another plan. We're not here just, collecting the worlds. And Sora doesn't know about that yet. Sora just thinks that we're collecting the worlds.
Cool.
So she mentions how they are falling into their hands before panning over, and we see Alice, who had been kidnapped before. So they have Alice.
Is the Queen of Hearts part of the council?
No. She was in Alice's world, and she was the one wanting to cut off her head, but Well, was she part of the Shadow Council?
I think she might be.
She might have been. Actually, she probably was, now that I say that.
Okay,
But-
so the council are happy with the fact that they have Alice there?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
right, we've
They
taken,
want
we've taken
Alice.
a protagonist.
Exactly.
Okay.
But see, now that I say that she also didn't know what the Heartless were when they showed up in Wonderland, so maybe she wasn't.
I mean, I would also say that...
I don't remember, and I've consumed way too much Kingdom Hearts over the past 3 days to remember minute details like
That's
that.
fine, yeah. And also,
I can remember your name.
I would argue that the Queen of Hearts is currently the least important character.
Oh, absolutely. I'd say, like, the only 3 Disney villains that have any relevance are, like, Jafar, Captain Hook, and Maleficent.
Yeah.
Probably.
Hades, because he keeps coming back, but yeah.
Hades keeps coming back, but he never cares about the main plot. He only ever cares about killing Hercules in, like, every game he appears in. But we come back to Traverse Town, where Leon's training in his sewer cave.
Yeah, sure, fine, yeah, keep going.
Sora kind of mentions that this whole time, it's not been him locking the keyholes. I forgot to mention this, but the Keyblade's kind of got a will of its own, and it's kind of been, like, dragging his hand and locking them itself when it got near to them.
It sounds horrifying to go through.
So Sora's like, yeah, that's been happening. I don't know what's really been going on. And Leon kind of explains the whole thing about how every world... how I said every world has a heart. Every world also has a keyhole, like this one behind this boss, that leads to that heart. So essentially... for some reason, these keyholes are unlocked, and that's letting the Heartless creep in, so that they can get to the heart itself, gobble up the heart, and cast the world into darkness.
Right.
So what Sora's going is he's wandering around, locking up these keyholes, so the world is safe, and even if there's Heartless running about, the Heartless can't put the world into darkness because they can't get to the heart.
Okay. Serious question then, right? So, not me being an agent of chaos here, legitimate question. Destiny Islands had a keyhole, presumably.
It did.
We don't see where that keyhole is or where that lives by this point in the game, is that correct? I don't remember where it is. Is it like a big reveal? Like, oh, this is where the keyhole was the whole time?
So we didn't lock anything up on Destiny Islands, so can we assume that it is just being overrun all this time?
Oh, the Destiny Islands has fully fallen to the darkness. Oh, okay. It's star-blipped out.
Are Sora's parents dead?
Yes.
Wow.
Cool. He never really seems to acknowledge that.
No, he doesn't.
Like, he's just, like I said, that's like we touched on at the start, that never-changing smile of someone who is really not dealing with severe trauma.
Dead behind the eyes.
Like I said, his mom called him down for dinner and he never came.
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't think it's ever a big reveal.
Right.
So I'll tell you, the keyhole was that wooden door in the cave.
Right.
That is the keyhole.
Got you.
Which is kind of why when the door burst open, shit got real.
Sora had the Keyblade at that point. So why didn't the key try and lock the door?
Because Sora didn't have it out, and we needed a plot reason to have his world fall.
He didn't have it out.
No, it was...
So the key can...
He kind of summons it.
Right.
He was also like miles away, right? Like it's not like he lands on the world and the key just drags him to the keyhole 2 miles away. Like you have to be kind of close to it.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I'm being stupid.
Yeah, these are the rules.
Yeah,
he was right in front of it when he got knocked out, but it's like he hadn't learned the plot that worlds had keyholes, so we can't show a keyhole, man.
I mean, I just can't think. I wouldn't live with the guilt.
Don't ask these questions, Neil, because then a brand new game will be released with the entire purpose of answering that single question.
So.
Yeah, sorry, we're at a keyhole in Traverse Town.
So, after learning that, you kind of go out, and, Riku's here! Oh, shit! Riku's in Traverse Town! And Sora's like, where's Kairi? But Riku thought that Kairi was with Sora. But he's like, don't worry, Kairi's fine, we'll go find him. And so, a Heartless shows up, and Riku's like, oh, I'll save you, because Riku's like the big tough, like, you're a little weakling, little shit. But Sora kills him with the Keyblade. And... like being like, oh, I don't need you anymore, bro. I'm super strong. Super strong.
Do we get any indicate? Why were you in a trance saying "Let's join the darkness"? Is that?
It's not brought up, man. It's not brought up.
I'm just saying, if that was Monty, it might come up over a pint. It might come up.
You have like it's difficult in just a couple of sentences, but you have an hour on Destiny Islands at the start, which establishes quite firmly best friends for life.
Yeah.
But there is a rivalry between them.
Yeah.
Consistently.
I'm fine with the rivalry. I might have mentioned that you had fallen into a trance brought on by some
I mean,
Riku's kind of just a dick
Dimensional.
right now. That's all he's doing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's kind of sound here at least.
yeah.
He's kind of sound in this scene, and he kind of grabs the Keyblade. Well, he doesn't grab the Keyblade. This is an important distinction. Is Sora turns around and Riku just has the Keyblade in his hand, and Sora's like, "The fuck? How? What? How did? What?" And he's like, and Riku clearly knows what a Keyblade is, holding it for some reason, and he's like, "This is the Keyblade." And then he gives it back to Sora. But kind of keep that in mind. So Sora's like, Riku, come with us. And Donald's like, bitch, he doesn't have a key. He doesn't have a key. I'm only here for keys. I have a key fetish. Our spaceship is cramped enough.
This is when
Get Riku out of here.
This is when you see the Scrooge influence coming in, because the apple never falls far from the tree. It's just about possession and, you know,
Oh my god.
hoarding valuables.
Bitch, he doesn't have a key.
But they're arguing, and when Sora turns around, Riku's gone.
Cool.
Okay.
So
Riku's gone again.
Riku's gone again. He's
Get
gone.
used to that.
But don't worry, Sora's like, at least I know he's okay. He'll probably be fine wherever he is. So
He's a pain in the ass is what he is.
Yeah.
later, Aerith kind of gives the exposition that it was because of Maleficent that they lost their world. That one that Ansem ruled over,
Right.
that they all came from. So it's Maleficent's fault.
Sorry, is Ansem dead? I might have missed that.
It's unclear at this
Missing.
point whether he is dead or missing. They
Okay,
don't really
right.
know. Ansem himself is only ever really brought up in this game as the one who wrote the reports, and the reports are really the important thing in the game, even though finding them is not an actual primary. We'll get to the reports, but they are very much a secret collectible.
Okay.
Smash cut to Maleficent with Riku, where she's kind of whispering over her shoulder. She's like, "Look, Sora replaced you. He's got this fucking dog thing and the shit duck."
To be fair, it wouldn't be very good for your self-esteem, would there?
And clearly,
What the fuck's that?
clearly, Sora cares more about them than Riku. So, you know, Riku's just better off with Maleficent. You know? And Riku's like, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable, let's go.
Can't argue with that, to be honest. If you'd replace me for Donald, Dick, and Goober, I'd be like, nah.
Also, very briefly, because I will mention, Jiminy Cricket's been with you this whole time. But he's so...
I didn't think it was worth mentioning.
He's so non-relevant that... Because basically... The whole point of Jiminy being here is Jiminy works for the king as like a scribe.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
What do you mean? His writing would be so small.
He works for the king as like a scribe, and basically
Just imagine running across a page with a
went
normal
with
sized
Donald.
pencil trying to draw.
So he went with Donald and Goofy to document the journey, and he's like your save journal, and he's your glossary, and he's all your records of the monsters you fought. Basically, he's there to give you plot reason to have a glossary and records of all the monsters.
I quite appreciate that. I think that's
Yeah, it's
actually
quite clever.
kind of neat.
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to have him.
Yeah.
Occasionally, he says a line. He's vaguely relevant and coded, but
Cool.
99% of the time, all that matters is Jiminy's in your pocket.
Cool.
He's not even like on your shoulder and chatting. He's literally like, you don't see him. He's in your pocket or some shit.
Right.
Writing away in his journal. So, next up, we head to Agrabah.
Ah, lovely.
But when we enter, Jafar and Maleficent are mid-scene saying that the Heartless are searching for the world's keyhole. So Jafar's actually kind of like in on this plan this time, unlike the previous villains. And that they are also looking for Jasmine, but they can't find Jasmine. So, of course, they are continuing their spree of kidnapping poor, innocent Disney princesses. What cunts.
Yeah, cunts.
So
Hey, Jafar, you
while they're looking for Jasmine, Jafar doesn't actually know why, and he kind of asks Maleficent about this. Maleficent's just like, and she's like, it doesn't even matter if you find her, because once we get the keyhole, she's going to be ours anyway. We need the 7 princesses of heart to open the final door.
Yeah.
There are 7 princesses of heart, of course, there to be merchandising opportunities, and Maleficent needs them all to open the final door.
A Whole New World has a totally different perspective on it now. that we are universe hopping?
Not universe. It's very important that
Sorry.
we clarify. It is important that we clarify these are not universes because
That might come into it in a different way.
they are
later.
worlds.
I can show you Traverse Town.
No, he can only show him this world.
Oh, sorry.
There's barriers, man. He doesn't have a gummy ship. He doesn't have a gummy magic
Don't be an
carpet.
idiot.
Sorry. Come on, man.
So, at some point, once Jafar gets the lamp, he commands his first wish in this version of Agrabah is to have Genie show him the keyhole. Cosmic power, who needs it? Give me a keyhole.
Cool.
Can you not wish Genie to get rid of the darkness?
No, because Jafar likes the darkness.
Oh, it's Jafar. All right,
Yeah.
but do we never interact with the Genie then?
Oh, sorry, who's asking the Genie for the wish?
Jafar.
Jafar's got the lamp.
Yeah,
Cool, yeah.
Jafar at this point has the lamp, and he's like, show me the keyhole. And whilst that's happening, he's also like, yo, Maleficent, Sora's kind of a pain in the ass. Should we tell Riku what's going on so that he can deal with Sora? And she's like, oh, and fades into darkness. Right. right as
We've all tried our best to leave an awkward conversation, haven't we?
she just to put more terminology in your mouth because it will come up later, she sinks into a corridor of darkness. Oh, which is a dark, spooky portal that
Poor Jafar left there. All right, dick.
Just got the keyhole for you, all right.
The next wish will be for a bit of manners from your part.
So Jafar, of course, not being the primary villain, but a bit piece, explains everything to Sora, explain to them that they need the 7 princesses to open the door.
Cool. What door?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
It's the final door.
But they're already
What does that
coming
do?
Through.
It's just the final door. We don't know anything.
Oh, okay.
It's the final door.
Right.
We've only ever heard of it for the first time here, and the only thing at this point that we know is that they need the princesses to open it.
Cool.
So Jafar, of course, wishes again, protect the keyhole, and then make me a genie, and you fucking get his ass kicked. Meanwhile, whilst you're faffing about with Jafar, I think it's Riku shows up, grabs Jasmine.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh. You lock the keyhole. Aladdin sets Genie free. He's like, let me come with you. And Donald's like, no, you don't have a key, bitch. Go away.
Donald's such an arsehole.
But Genie doesn't need no gummy ship, so Genie comes with you, and he's a battle summon.
Yes.
Excellent.
I never use battle summons in these games, so I could not talk about them.
I assume not Robin Williams, who had a very
No,
contentious
no.
relationship with Disney after that film.
Sadly, it is not Robin Williams
No,
in
it's
this
someone
film.
doing a very poor, I remember, impersonation.
I think it's actually the guy who voiced Genie in the later movies.
Oh.
After I think
In the second one. That
Yeah,
would make
yeah.
sense.
Will Smith. It's Will Smith.
It's Will Smith. No, it's not Will Smith.
Agrabah locked up. We go back to the shadowy council room. Hades is mocking Jafar. Everything's having fun. And then he's like, Riku should have stuck around, helped him beat Sora after he kidnapped Jasmine. Bluffin's like, nah, Jafar was consumed by his hatred, and that let him fall into the darkness, and that's why he died.
Wait, what? Oh, right, okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
because he was consumed by his hatred.
Cool.
Man.
Sure, it's not just because you abandoned him, Maleficent, and left him to fight Sora alone.
Yeah. But Maleficent's like, oh, by the way, Riku, I got a present for you. It's Kairi.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That's
but-
gross.
But she's like, but if you want her, you gotta keep helping me.
Cool.
Go help Captain Hook.
Where is Kairi? What?
It's a great first day at work, isn't it?
Cool. Where is Kairi? She was like, here's Kairi. Is Kairi like, hello?
No, so at this point she's asleep, but she's in the Shadow
Right.
Council room.
Okay.
But she's asleep in the Shadow Council room. And Riku's like, this seems a bit sus, bro. What's the catch? And Maleficent's like, nah, sweet child. You're my son. You're a son to me. I only want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And Riku's like, I eat, bro, but I eat. I'll help you.
Why are all of these characters like white middle class rappers? I eat, bro.
Because this is the way that I talk. So it's the whale. from Pinocchio.
Oh.
Oh.
Are we inside it?
Well, so what happens is you're you're flying through space in the gummy ship, and suddenly Jiminy's like, I'm getting a reading, and then Monstro is flying through space and he eats you. He eats the entire gummy ship.
So he's a space whale.
Apparently so. And apparently he's his own entire world, even though he came from a world called Prankster's Paradise.
I thought he came from a world called Earth.
Well, no.
Does he not need to breathe water?
Is Earth in the Kingdom Hearts verse? Don't, is it actually?
Don't. Okay,
Wait, because Pirates of the Caribbean.
Friend, that's going to open a whole can of worms that we will get to at the end of tomorrow.
Okay.
That's phase 2 nonsense.
My god, alright.
Okay, just accept it. Space whale.
Space whale, we're good.
Space whale.
Jiminy Cricket's getting a reading on what? His little
Space
antenna.
whale.
What?
Well, or excuse me, it's not Jiminy Cricket, it's Chip and Dale. I forgot to mention that they are engineers who work for Mickey building his gummy ships.
So does Mickey have a fleet of
Yes.
gummy ships?
Mickey has several gummy ships.
So Mickey also controls the military assets of Disney World.
Well, so Mickey, from his place as the king of Disney Castle, he kind of, because he is aware of the other worlds, he kind of looks over them in a semi-way, for reasons that we'll get to.
Why is Scrooge McDuck in Traverse Town if there is a world for all of the OG Disney characters which is absolutely fine?
We're not...
Is he just
because
making money off of refugees?
there are...
Probably.
So, Disney Castle is not the same world as Disney Town.
I
There is a Disney Town world, which we do see Scrooge McDuck comes from, because he gives you lifetime passes to it later. Because of...
So is Mickey like, he's almost like Odin with the 9 realms?
No.
So he's not a king, he's a god. God Mickey.
He's a sort of
Well,
there
are gods.
like-
There are semi kind of gods in this game, so no, Mickey's not a god. Mickey's a king.
Okay.
It's important. Distinctions. I hate this series because it does make you need to make these stupid little nitpicky distinctions, because it's like, no, he's not this, because that actually is a thing in another part of the game.
Right, okay. So Monstro. The space whale.
So, as he gets eaten, Sora, unconscious, has kind of a memory back to Destiny Islands, where he and Riku are talking about a big monster and whether they could beat it. And that there's monster sounds coming from the cave. And haha, they're joking. They go look, but ultimately decide the cave's boring. And that they're gonna go do something else fun. They're gonna go meet the new girl at the mayor's house. So there is a mayor's house, which is, I think, one of the only 2 times that another island is mentioned in this entire game.
Cool.
That and the time later when you see Kyrie's grandma.
Yeah, so the new girl is Kyrie, presumably, in this flashback. Okay.
Who knows? Yes, it is.
Okay.
The new girl at the mayor's house who has just arrived on the island. Gasp. So, in the belly, we find Pinocchio, Geppetto, and Pinocchio runs off, and Geppetto's like, my wooden boy!
So we're inside the whale. Geppetto and Pinocchio are here again.
So remember that in the story, they got eaten by Monstro, and they were in the belly of Monstro for a while, before they, like, I forget what happened in the movie, they build fire and the smoke makes Monstro sneeze or something.
So Monstro ate them on their Earth, and
So
then
seemingly-
Monstro flew into space.
Well, seemingly, and this is never explicit.
Half of this is getting cut. We're not on Monstro for 30 minutes.
Seemingly what happened is Monstro ate them, and then the world fell to darkness. Monstro somehow survived, but of course you can't send a whole whale to Traverse Town, so he's been flying around space.
Cool. Okay, that makes sense. That
Like,
makes at least
and
yeah.
we're gonna leave it. We're gonna presume that's
You
correct.
can't try and nitpick this series, man.
It's at
See,
least
it's
rational.
bloody bulletproof is what I'm finding.
So, Sora goes after Pinocchio and finds Riku, and he's like, and Sora's like, Pinocchio, we can't play games, and Sora's like, oh, I thought you liked to play games, or are you too cool now that you have the Keyblade, you dick?
He's had his feelings hurt because he's hanging out with Donald and Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sora's like, well, have you found Kyrie? Where the fuck you been, man? And Riku's like, I'll tell you if you can catch me.
Is that what he
Doing
sounds like?
an impersonation of Goofy.
Yeah.
Hates him that much. I do like the idea of this whole, like, are you too cool to play now? That, like, Goofy and Donald are the cool guys, and they're going, yuck, you better not be playing games, Dick. What fucking stand here? Give us your key!
Oh. Okay.
So we do see a little scene with Maleficent talking to Riku, and she's like, why do you care about Sora? He left you. Ignore him. And Riku's like, nah, man, I'm just messing with him. And she's like, bruh, you're getting a little spicy, too close to the darkness. It's gonna eat you. The Heartless are gonna eat you. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
So Maleficent doesn't want him to become full dark. She wants him to straddle the line like she does.
She does give the impression that she at least somewhat cares about him,
Right.
even if it is just as an important tool.
Right.
And she doesn't want to lose him.
Right.
Cool. Obviously, it's probably not the point where she actually thinks of him as a child, but it seems like she does at least somewhat care about him.
Okay.
Sora finds Riku, and Riku's like, do you even want to find Kairi? All you care about is that stupid Keyblade and locking up worlds. But before they can do anything, a Heartless eats Pinocchio.
Pinocchio being one of the princesses that needs to...
But no, don't worry, because Pinocchio is fine. Because whilst Pinocchio, being a wooden boy, has a heart, of course, this Heartless, it didn't eat him in terms of eating his heart. It has like a cage in its belly, and it just ate him and put Pinocchio in the cage.
Why? Oh.
Who knows? It's just messing.
Just messing.
Just in a silly, goofy mood. Not goofy.
So you team up with Riku briefly to save Pinocchio, and then Riku fucking yeets Pinocchio and runs away.
Okay.
So Riku as Pinocchio shows up, kind of hanging him over Geppetto, and he's like, haha, I got your boy. And Riku's like, yo, this thing's made of wood. Why it got a heart? If this thing can have a heart, maybe it can help someone else who has lost their heart. Hint, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right, yeah, Pinocchio needs a heart because he's a little wooden puppet boy.
Well, no, Pinocchio has a heart.
So he's saying,
But he's
well,
like-
if he can be alive with a heart, maybe there's someone else? Like,
I'm so
Exactly.
impressed that you are following
fact that
this. Yeah.
So you chase after Riku some more. He tries to get you to join forces with him, but Sora's like, nah, fam, you kidnap people now. You don't have a conscience. You're a dick. And Riku's like, wow, hurtful. And runs away.
Right, okay.
How
How is Riku getting about if he doesn't have a gummy ship? Is it Maleficent portals?
if I remember, at this point, Riku can control the corridors of darkness.
Cool.
I believe at this point he has the power to create portals. So we cut to Riku now in what looks like the captain's quarters of a sailing ship. Wonder who that could be. And Kairi is unconscious on the bench in front of him. Maleficent is there, and she tells him that Kairi's heart has been taken by the Heartless. Which is odd, because she's the first person in the series who we've seen that happen to, but her body is still there.
Mm.
Why is she still here?
Mm.
Why is she still here, man? Why is she still here? So Riku's like, no, what can I do? And Maleficent's like, give me the 7 princesses.
So, question.
Yes.
We go to Jasmine's world,
Yes.
we go to Alice's world, who's not a princess, by the way, but that's whatever. We do not go to Snow White, Cinderella, or Aurora's worlds. So structurally, why are we wasting time in Tarzan land if when we've got...
Don't question it, because some exec at Disney said these are the properties we want in your game.
Right.
Run with it. Why they didn't want to use the princess worlds, who the fuck knows?
Probably because they are essentially the same worlds, a lot of them, aren't they?
Well, yeah, castle, cabin in the woods.
Also, because at least for Aurora, if you're gonna have Maleficent be your
Cabin in the
big
woods.
bad of the entire game, you can't really have a world like who would be the boss in that world unless it's the final world, and you can't have like a specific Disney property be the final world. It has to be an original place.
It's a really good point. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
No,
and the
granted,
evil Snow White Queen and Maleficent working together would be a bit much, so I get that.
Yeah. So Maleficent's like, I need that. I need these princesses so we can open the door to the heart of all worlds, which contains untold wisdom, including the way to retrieve Kairi's heart.
Cool.
And she's like, you're gonna help me. Here, I give you the power to control the Heartless.
Right, okay.
What's happened to Kairi's heart?
It's just gone.
Oh, that's a shame.
Seemingly, she probably lost it when the Destiny Islands fell to darkness.
Okay, because she was right at the epicenter of it.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's lost her heart.
Poor old Carrie. She really is a nothing character in this,
Yeah.
isn't she?
Yeah.
There's no
She's-
autonomy.
She's
There's no...
Sora Enrique's motivation, and that is...
Yay! It's got to feel good.
And that's all that, unfortunately, a female needs to be in an early 2000s video game.
Yeah.
Yikes. Anyhow. Next up, we go under the sea. And look, Sora's a mermaid now. And Donald's an octopus thing.
Wait.
And Goofy's...
Now, I know a lot of people think Goofy is a dog, but he's actually a cow. In real
Yeah, but he's a
life.
turtle cow.
Goofy's a cow.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not a dog. He's a
Oh,
cow.
I know he dated a cow, but I didn't know
I'm
he
pretty sure
was.
he's a cow.
Look, he's not a cow.
Why is he a turtle? Why?
Well, because
Cows can't
So-
swim.
No, but do like a seal or like a, I don't know, like a fucking,
well,
what is it, manatee. Like a big sea cow.
I'm not going to question it. But
Are you not more concerned why Sora's got a shark fin for an ass?
Yeah, that is a sleek look. I mean,
Yeah.
why is he winking?
It's not even the best.
Because Sora's a little playful boy.
It's not even
How
the best
old is he?
costume to get.
from here on out, every world they get a new costume, and it's great because basically, one of the things is, remember how they can't tell anybody that there's multiple worlds.
Yes.
So seemingly, the world order, shall we call it? Because legitimately, I do not know what actually does this. There's far more important things in the series to fill my brain with than this. But when they go to worlds where you wouldn't be expected to be a human, their form changes to match the
Right.
form of that world.
And half human is...
Well, because currently
Little Mermaid.
they're in the Little Mermaid world.
Yeah.
So them being, sea critters and mermaids, it will help them blend into this world.
And so, naturally, the residents of that world are going to say, ah, yes, a duck with an octopus arse.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that's okay, because Ariel comes up and she's like, "Oh my god, new friends. Where'd you come from?" And she's not even a princess of heart, so she's not even in danger. She's fine. Because, how would you take her out of the water? So she can't be a princess that's gonna be somewhere landlocked. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So shenanigans happen, and you end up going to, you've been telling people that you come from an ocean far away. You're not from another world, you're just from another ocean.
Yeah.
And you eventually end up meeting Ariel's dad, King Trident, and Goofy, while you're there, is like, "We're looking for a keyhole." And Ariel's like, "A keyhole?" And Trident's like, "There's no keyhole!" And it's like,
That's suspicious as
that's
fuck.
that's a tad suspicious. And he's like, "Get the fuck out my throne room."
Cool.
And after they're gone, Sebastian's like, "Sire, I am an important person. Can you tell me about this keyhole?" And he's like, "It doesn't concern you."
Oh.
So clearly Trident knows there's a keyhole. Also it's revealed Ursula's here, but whatever. She's a baddie.
Isn't this an entirely optional world in Kingdom Hearts 1?
No.
No?
And actually, whilst it feels like it should be in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's actually technically not in Kingdom Hearts 2 either. Ariel is in her treasure cave, sulking, and Ursula comes up and she's like, "Well, guess what? Sora's from another world." Gasp. And that keyhole, it's probably in the palace. If you want to help Sora, you gotta help me sneak past Daddy.
Right.
Which she does because Ariel is a gullible little child. And Ursula steals the trident and smashes King Trident on the head. Why is he named after his weapon? We're not going to question it.
Yes.
Honestly, most of the remainder of the movie is the movie rather. Ursula turns into her giant sea witch form for like the end of the movie. You kick her ass, get the trident back. You throw the trident through her. Trident's like, "Oh no, here's the keyhole. It was in Ariel's grotto the whole time. Can you please seal it? Thank you very much." Could have just asked way before Ursula showed up, but sure.
Yeah.
So, like, a la Mickey, Trident, as the king of this world, knows about the keyhole and must know that it is an important, dangerous thing.
So
Does he already know about the other worlds?
seemingly.
Okay.
To be honest, it's not really whilst never explicitly stated, it gives the impression via a few leaders of various worlds that a number of leaders of these worlds know of the existence of their keyholes and their hearts in other worlds, but it's never explicitly stated. And you do get to other worlds that have leaders that don't seem to know what's going on. So maybe they've got a secret council of important Disney kings or something. Who knows?
Cool. Yep.
Sure. Whatever. So, second worst world out of the way. We go on to the best world. Halloweentown.
Awesome.
Where they get some
Very
sick outfits.
Very good outfits.
Very good outfits, especially Sora's.
Yeah.
We love them.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, this whole time, you can change the appearance of your Keyblade using keychains that hang off the end of it. And basically in each world, you're getting keychains that let you gain a new appearance to your Keyblade, and the one from this world is dope as hell.
Yeah,
We like this. This is good.
This is the best bit of Kingdom Hearts 1, I'd argue, except for Hollow Bastion, the entire Hollow Bastion section. Well, the last hour of the game is
I'd
great.
say an entire ending of this game is fantastic.
Yeah.
The Disney worlds are just a bit pish.
Yeah.
So, literally this is pretty much the plot. Jack doesn't like, Jack's sad because Halloween's boring. He's tired of it. And he's experimenting on the Heartless, which have recently shown up in town, trying to find out why it won't come to life. And him and Dr. Finkelstein are like, oh, it needs a heart. We're going to create a heart. So much shenanigans go down with them trying to get a container with a lock so they can create a heart. And they're trying to create a heart. They're trying to get memory as an ingredient to a heart. Ultimately, they do make the heart. The Heartless dances about... Or no. Jack wanted to make the Heartless dance to make Halloween entertaining again.
Yeah.
So they make a heart for the Heartless.
Well, they don't know it's a Heartless. They don't know anything about the Heartless. They just know it's not moving. Lying still on the table. It doesn't have a heart. Maybe it needs a heart.
Yeah.
So we can make it start dancing.
Yeah.
And when they make their heart, Lockshock and Barrel are there, and they're like, oh, we gotta go tell Oogie Boogie. And Oogie Boogie is positively jiggered.
Is that what he says?
Yes.
I'm positively jiggered.
Which sounds almost bad, but is very amusing when he says it. So, obviously, he's part of the Shadow Council. He knows about the Heartless. And he's like, oh, maybe we get that heart. We can control the Heartless, just like Malefi does. So, rest of it, you end up chasing Lockshock Barrel, kill Oogie. Oogie turns into a big pile of bugs. Then he turns into his house. And then you kill him. And then you lock the world.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so we do the movie.
You do the movie.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't do the movie because he doesn't go to Christmas Town. That's in the next game.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Spoiler. So, with that done, we finally go to the only important Disney world in the game, Neverland. Which is important because, of course, we know Riku's here. And that's the only reason it's important, because we literally never leave Hook's ship. And actually, we don't land on the ship. The ship kind of appears in space, just like Monstro does, and forces you to land on it.
No.
Don't question. Yeah.
So Riku's there.
But Hook's not like, fuck, we're in space.
So Hook's not about, Riku is clearly in charge here.
Yeah, okay.
Poor Hook, man.
Hook's around, but he's clearly had control of a ship taken by
Yeah,
Riku.
this is what I was sort of alluding to earlier. Hook seems like a man of simple pleasures and simple motivation.
Yeah.
Mr. Smee, this 10-year-old is not the captain.
So Sora's alone. Donald and Goofy are elsewhere. They've been split up. And Riku's like, oh, why do you care where they are, bruh? Are they more important than me? More important than your old friends? Are they more important than, and he moves to the side dramatically, white bread?
As always says, white bread. Kyrie's snoring in the corner.
And he's like, bro, I've been working hard. I found Kyrie. The fuck have you been up to, locking worlds? That's not finding Kyrie. And
he's got a point.
This is right. Sora's like, well, why are you with the Heartless? They're gonna eat you. And he's like, nah, fam. I'm too strong to be controlled. Which he definitely isn't already, being No, siree.
And Donald's like, does she have a key?
No, Donald's in jail right now. Donald's been thrown in the brig where Captain Hook also throws Sora after Riku commands him
I
to.
thought you meant unrelated to this world. He'd finally been caught for his crimes. He'd been corrupt for years running the kingdom. Like
he's been the shadow leader of Disney Council.
He's just been amassing keys and wealth.
But Hook's all, well, I don't like this brat ordering me around, but oh well, the Heartless will eat him, and I'm not dealing with the Heartless.
I've got stuff to do.
So down there, Pete and Tink, worst boy, Petey boy, is like, there's two girls. And Tink's like, girls, not for you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Not for you, child. And
Wait, two girls?
There's two girls.
Who are the two girls?
Well, presumably Wendy and Kyrie.
Oh, sorry.
Are you forgetting that Wendy is Petey's girl?
Yeah, I'm forgetting that we're doing the movie as well. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, kind of.
So,
they do ultimately find kind of the brig where Wendy and Kyrie are. It's kind of like they can see the grate above that's in the floor, and they're underneath the cell, and they can see Wendy, and Wendy's awake, and Sora's like, is there another girl in there? And she's like, yeah, but she's having a nap.
Just leave her alone.
Elsewhere, Riku and Captain Hook are chatting, and Riku's like, bruh, get the fuck rid of Wendy. She ain't even a princess of heart. We don't need her. But of course Hook wants her so he can deal with... I've just written, Hook demands to know what makes the Seven specifically so special, only for Riku to be like, IDGAF, as long as I get Kyrie's heart back. Hook don't think it worked like that. Hook prop right.
Yeah, you're grand. Let's move on. Yeah, that sums it up.
So, back in the cell, Kyrie is there. Kyrie's having a nap. And Sora's like, Kyrie! And of course, right as he says that, Kyrie gets dragged away, and you kind of see her feet get dragged away from the grate.
Massive shoes.
Which is why we had to be under her with a grate so we could get the shot of her shoes disappearing. Gasp. So Riku leaves through a dark portal, and summons Dark Sora, which is apparently a thing he can do.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not really anything to do with Sora, presumably.
No.
It just looks like Sora.
It's never explained. It never comes up in a future game.
It's just a mess of them, I guess.
I think they saw Dark Link and they were like, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Riku's taken him over to Maleficent's castle, which we finally revealed to be called Hollow Bastion.
Ooh.
Or more specifically, the ruins of Hollow Bastion. So then Hook has Tink, blah, 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 tries to get the Keyblade. Doesn't matter. Hook falls to the TikTok croc.
What?
And
Are we back in Neverland?
yeah,
we're like the ocean outside, right?
We never left the boat.
But the boat was in space.
Well, no, the boat's in Neverland.
Oh.
The boat landed in Neverland.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
We don't question why the boat's in space. We don't know why the boat's in space.
I promise.
So after you beat him, you fly back to London, where it's revealed that the whole time the keyhole was never in Neverland. It was in Big Ben.
No, don't.
Just a sad acceptance.
Yeah.
Neil, we're not even done with the first of 9 games.
I know. I don't want to
We can't be losing hope this early.
Yeah, okay.
We can't be losing hope this
I
early.
completely forgot about that. So yeah, thank you. That answers my Earth question.
Yeah.
No, because is this our Earth?
That's a good question.
Let's
move on.
I think there's a Heartless boss in London. I don't know why. All you need to know is that if a place happens in a movie, it will be part of an encapsulated world. So this London is encapsulated with Neverland in the world Neverland.
Gotcha.
Chase, let me tell you, there's a few heartless bosses in London. From Westminster.
Got him.
Not recovering from that.
So, we cut back. Remember when we went in Monstro and you had the flashback to the cave? They're like, oh, we're going to go meet the new girl. We get that scene again. But this time, it cuts a bit... It goes a bit longer. Sora leaves running to meet the new girl, and Riku looks back, seeing that now in the side of the cave wall is that wooden door from the start of the game, and the wooden door has a keyhole. It is revealed.
There you go.
There's the reveal. Oops, I spoiled.
Sora looks the same age.
That's
in this flashback.
that is Sora when I think he's like 7, 5, something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Riku arrives in Hollow Bastion with Kairi. Maleficent's like, yo, bro, why'd you bring her without a vessel? That was way too close to the darkness. You're gonna fall into the darkness. Stop that. And they hear a roar from behind them, and Maleficent's explains that there's a castaway running around the castle who didn't lose his heart when they took the Princess of Heart from his world. And Maleficent awakens Riku to his full power as he glows green with evil.
And jealousy, presumably.
And jealousy.
Right?
Maleficent's magic.
Green? Yeah.
Maleficent's magic has a green motif.
Oh shit, you're right.
So, presumably, he glows with Maleficent's magic.
Who's the castaway running about the castle?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask future questions.
Oh, I know this. I know this.
Also,
Sorry,
you should know this.
Yeah. I definitely know this. Yeah.
So back with Sora and the Goober Boys, they have a chat about not being scared and believing in each other. Sora has a flashback, which is not of his memories, and he's a bit confused as to why he has it, but it shows Kairi with an old woman, where we get actually important exposition lore dumps. So, long ago, everyone lived in peace in the light. But as with peace, it was broken when the people of the world began to fight over the light. Back then, there was only one world. There weren't separate worlds, and there weren't barriers. There was one world living in peace under the light. But because there were no barriers, they began to fight over the light. And darkness was born in their hearts, growing until it consumed almost everything. But some fragments of the light survived in the hearts of children. These children rebuilt the world using the light in their heart, using the light in their hearts into the world we live on today. But the true light lives deeper still in the darkness, hence why the worlds have become scattered and divided.
Wait, no, I need a second.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think you said light at least 24 times in 2
just,
sentences.
Just leave it with me.
Yep.
There's a true light.
So there's the true light. There's also the light in the hearts of children, which came through the darkness and rebuilt the world.
Okay.
But someday the door to this true light, it's going to open, and that light's going to come back.
And we want that, right? That's a good thing.
Yeah, that would be quite good.
Debatable.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, okay.
Debatable.
And who are the children? Does that matter? Just children in general, because they're so young and innocent and pure.
Just children.
Fuck off. Okay.
Don't
God damn it.
question it.
Great. No problem.
Do you remember what you were doing when you were a children?
I was looking for the true light.
It was in your heart the whole time.
Okay.
The old lady, who I will tell you is Kairi's grandmother, tells Kairi that her heart is going to shine with the power and will push the darkness away. So, Sora's launched out of the vision. He's not really sure why he's having flashbacks of Kairi's childhood. This isn't one of his memories. He doesn't really know why that's there. Oh well. Also, Sid shows up and he's like, yo, have a GPS. It'll tell you how to go to Hollow Bastion. There you go.
Cool. Great.
And you fly off to Hollow Bastion, where you get the coolest fucking stage. I don't know if you've played the newest Smash Bros. Specifically when after they added Sora, because this is the stage in there. So also, remember when Sora, back in Tarzan's world, saw that picture of the castle? He's like, I recognize that castle. Well, he similarly recognizes this castle.
Right.
For some reason.
Are they the same castle?
It's implied.
Right.
It is implied that it's the
Why
same
does
castle.
he... do you have that? Are you going to tell us that later? Okay.
You need to stop asking future questions.
Sorry, yeah, I do, yeah.
So this is the castle with the big door in it.
There's a big door somewhere.
But it might not be here.
This is where Maleficent's been hanging out, is it?
This is where Maleficent's been hanging out.
Right.
They're in the ruins of Hollow Bastion. But he says there's a warmth in his heart, to which Donald replies, probably just hungry. Haha.
Donald's such a prick. Just because you don't know the light and warmth of friendship, duck fuck.
It kind of zooms forward, and up on the top platform is Riku, and he's fighting off the Beast! Riku's like, how'd you get here? And Beast's like, I believed really hard.
Oh, we've been flying around this sticky piece of shit spaceship.
He's like, well, it's not that he did that, it's that Belle was taken, and he believed really hard and somehow came with Belle. Because Belle's Princess of Heart, of course. But Beast tries to attack Riku, but he's too cool, and he has a sick backflip and slashes the Beast. And he now has this weird sword, and it looks like a bat wing and it has an eyeball on it. It's pretty dope.
I think that rings a bell, actually. The Batwing eye sword, weirdly.
But Sora shows up and he ain't having none of that biz nasty. Riku's like, we've always been rival. We can't be anymore because there can't be two Keyblade Masters. And Sora's like, what do you mean, two Keyblade Masters?
What?
And then Riku's like, let the Keyblade choose her lover. And he's like, rah, and he sticks out his hand, and the Keyblade vaporizes out of Sora's and into Riku's, just like it did in Traverse Town earlier.
Wait, so his bat eye wing sword, that's not a Keyblade?
No.
Cool.
No, it is not. It's just a sword.
Cool.
It's just a sword. But so Riku has the Keyblade, which proves to him that only he has the power to save Kairi, because only the Keyblade Master can open the secret door.
Cool.
So Riku gives him some sass. He's like, you're just the delivery boy, and throws him like a wooden sword. He's like, play with that.
Oh, awesome. Very cool.
Yeah,
what
I
a
like that.
dick.
Good
I like
villain
that.
move.
And then those fucking cunts, Doobled and Goober, are like, sorry, you don't have a key.
We're out.
We're out.
They don't actually leave.
No, they straight up leave. They go with Riku instead. They're like, we're only here for the key, man. We don't need anything else.
I thought this was a game about the power of friendship.
Well, they're not.
What message is it for the children if your Disney idols are there going, fucking, I'm out. I've got nothing more to gain from you.
Goofy does seem a bit torn up about it, at least.
Yeah,
But ultimately, Donald's like, Goofy, we're fucking going. We got our mission from the king. So, left alone, Sora makes new friends and teams up with the Beast. So they're besties. And now with wooden sword in hand, they ascend up the best world in this game, the castle at Hollow Bastion. So at the top of the castle, ooh, spooky chamber. Maleficent's walking around in the spooky hallway where we can see lining the walls are all of the Disney princesses.
And I count 6 there.
Yes, because in the center is Kairi in a floaty vessel. And Maleficent's like, I demand the purest of hearts. Show me the keyhole. And lasers shoot out of all the princesses.
Sure.
And they converge and they shoot a light into this portal in the heart that's at the top of the staircase. And that's kind of all we see there. Lower down the castle, Sora and the Beast catch up to Riku and the traitor boys. Riku's all, the darkness will destroy you, while putting on just the most darkness, evil, hot topic, edgy outfit in existence. And Sora's like, the darkness may destroy my body, but it will never touch my heart because my heart's gonna live on in my friends.
What friends? I'm being serious. Like, what ones are left? I'm not being facetious
The
here.
Beast.
Well, he's been making friends in all these Disney worlds, so his heart's in like Phil and Hercules and
It would have been
Tarzan.
cool if they were all here, like if they'd showed
Oh,
up.
I know.
I also think it's quite important to note that Sora has literally lost all of his original friends.
Also,
Riku hates him, Donald
Kairi's-
hates him, Goofy hates him, Kairi's
unaware
passed
of
out.
everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Kairi's still friends with him. She's just unconscious.
So he has no friends.
Did Riku stop to change costumes?
Yes. Well,
I respect
technically,
it. I respect it.
He kind of like blobs with darkness, and the darkness goes away, and he's like in a new dark jumpsuit.
Hello, darkness. A new costume.
So Riku's like, nuh-uh, I am gonna beat your body, and shoots darkness at Sora, only to be saved by Goofy. Who's still a tit. You know, we haven't forgiven him yet. And Goofy's like, yo, I was a bit torn up about this, and I'm not gonna betray Sora. We're besties. And Goofy's like, Donald, come the fuck over here. And Donald's like, well, I don't want to just be alone with this creepy edgelord, so I'll come back with you guys.
Look at your face. He's so done, and we've not even finished one.
I love this feeling. I love this feeling.
This is the most straightforward game in the series.
I was gonna say, like, in terms of, it's not been particularly convoluted at
No.
all. It's
There is one convoluted part that we're getting to, but it's like the only convoluted part in the game. Okay, we're getting there. But Riku's like, Sora, you don't have a weapon. How are you gonna fight me? And Sora's like, my friendship is my weapon. And the Keyblade is he's like, I don't need a weapon, and then of course, because he doesn't need a weapon, the Keyblade's like, oh well, you need a weapon, and comes out of Riku's hand and back into Sora's. Riku's like, what? And he gets his old sword. He's like, I guess I'll do you fight him.
He's a good boss if I remember right too. It's
Not
a good fight.
here.
No?
He's a bit of a pushover here.
Oh.
I think you fight him 2 more times.
Oh, okay.
You just kind of keep running after him and fighting him in Hollow Bastion, to be honest.
Yeah, you fight him in like a big chamber room. I remember that being really cool.
That fight's so hard.
Oh yeah.
That fight's really hard, man. So Riku defeated. He loses his spooky jumpsuit here. Briefly comes back from the darkness, and he runs off. Elsewhere in the main chamber, Riku's like, the Keyblade was mine, which,
I mean, it was for a minute.
Technically more than a minute, but we're not gonna get to that.
Oh.
And to comfort him in his sadness, a mysterious robed man who we definitely didn't see at the start of the game, shows up, and he's like, your heart is strong and true, so it will win back the Keyblade. But he can get more powerful if he gives himself into the darkness, if he becomes the darkness. And Riku glows with darkness. Spooky.
Good voice. I appreciate that.
Great
Yeah.
voice.
Thank you. Riku runs after Maleficent after this. And we now hear that every time he's talking, it's not his voice anymore. Or it's not exclusively his voice. It's like his voice overlaid with a second, considerably more evil sounding voice.
Right.
And Riku's like, the path has emerged at last. And if they unlock the keyhole, then Heartless will overrun the world. And Maleficent's like, nah, I'm good though. I'm so powerful. I'm gonna use this darkness, and I'm gonna rule over every world.
Cool. But the Heartless destroy worlds.
Well, yeah.
So what's she ruling over?
She doesn't care if they're in the realm of light or the realm of darkness. She'll rule over them in the realm of darkness. She just wants the land.
Okay.
She's a landowner.
It's pure property.
Landlord.
Yeah, it's
She's a landlord.
Landlord Maleficent. The ultimate villain is capitalism. Every story, when you boil it down.
She doesn't really care about the citizens. It's a power trip.
real estate.
So Riku, he pulls out a new dark Keyblade. And it's super edgy. And he tries to unlock the keyhole, but it doesn't work. And Maleficent's like, well, it's because Kairi, you made your Keyblade out of the hearts, but without Kairi's heart, which remember, it's still lost. They haven't gotten it back. The Keyblade doesn't have all of its power.
So there are now 2 Keyblades, when before we were told there could only be 1 Keyblade.
So as of this point, we were never told, but we were kind of, it was implied that Sora's was the Keyblade.
So this is a shock when this happens. So the Keyblade that Sora has is this sort of just eternal weapon key that is just been around and will appear, at appropriate points to the chosen one. This one that what's his name? Riku has. This been manufactured? Is this?
Yeah. So this one, and to get into some deeper lore that I think came from one of the books, this is called a Keyblade of Heart, and it was created from the hearts of the 7 princesses.
Okay. Cool.
Because actually...
But right now there are only 6 in it. Right?
Exactly. Because what's actually... it's not ever set in game, but only a Keyblade of Heart can unlock the final door. So Sora's Keyblade never could have fucking done it.
Oh. Wait, so what was the plan if this didn't happen then?
Who knows? Okay. We're not going to question it, but
Cool.
But Sora's Keyblade never could have done it. It always needed to be a Keyblade of Heart, which, well, to be fair, they've always been saying that they needed the 7 princesses to unlock the door.
Oh yeah, so probably the idea would be Sora.
They just wanted to get rid of the Keyblade wielder because he was locking all their worlds.
Cool.
He was stopping their plans. He was just kind of a pain more than anything to them.
Cool.
The only one who really cared about him was Riku.
Cool. No problem.
Sora shows up, And Maleficent goes to deal with him, turning... she flies around, you fight her, shoots darkness, and Riku reappears in front of Sora. Sora recognizes that Riku now has a Keyblade, but Riku tells him that it's different and that this one can unlock people's hearts. And then, of course, to prove his point, he instantly stabs Maleficent in the chest, filling her up with that sweet, sweet darkness.
Yes.
Yes. So using this, Maleficent turns into a dragon, which you instantly kill. After she dies, she remains as just her robe on the floor.
Right.
And that's important.
Oh.
A lot will be one.
Keep that in mind.
She's force ghosted.
Yeah, no body, no death.
It's Scream rules. If they don't get shot in the head, they're coming back.
Well, let's be real. Even if your body dies in Kingdom Hearts, are you really dead? Are you really dead? So Riku's like, she was just a puppet to the darkness. She didn't know that the darkness was eating away at her hearts. And then he runs away. Where you find him in the princess hallway with Kairi at the top of the stairs. Riku, who his voice isn't overlaid anymore, it's now just entirely the evil voice.
Right.
Is like, she's not going to wake up because she lost her heart. And Sora's like, you're not Riku.
Sure.
So, Riku then tells Sora that the keyhole can't be completed as long as the last Princess of Heart still remains sleeping, revealing finally to Sora that Kairi is in fact the final Princess of Heart.
What?
Gasp, shock, horror. However could we have predicted this? Sora's like, whoever you are, get out of my Riku! And it's like, nah, Sora, first you gotta give back Kairi's heart. And Sora's like, what? And Riku points the Keyblade of Heart at him, and Sora glows. And Riku reveals that Kairi's heart has been inside of Sora this whole time. Which now we need to cut back to explain a thing.
When she passed through him.
Oh my god, you actually got it. Good job.
Has he been like struggling to breathe? What am I saying? He doesn't have a respiratory system because they don't breathe out. There's not blood, it's magic, which means there's no need to oxygenate it, so they don't need to breathe.
So
It's they only crystallize when they leave your body. Don't worry about it.
Is that because of the papao fruit? Because he gave her the papao? No, they haven't. He didn't get the chance to, did he? He never gave her the papao.
I got to admit, I thought there was going to be a twist that Sora and Riku ended up sharing the fruit. And that's why there was
You are the entire fan base right up until they were disappointed.
I know, I would love that would obviously
Ever thought that was coming?
I that would be wonderful, but I meant more in less of a romantic love and in more of a we're destined to be together. It doesn't have to be in a romantic sense, you know.
I get you.
You know,
Yeah.
as wonderful as that would be.
Sora, after this is revealed, goes, Kairi? Kairi's inside me? So Sora's like, who the fuck are you? You're not Riku. And the voice is like, I am Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness.
No!
Ansem. It's been Ansem the whole time. Oh no! So he fucking just yeets Donald away, fucking finally giving him his comeuppance, and tries to forcibly steal Kairi's heart, leading Sora to step forward and give us our final 1v1 battle, Keyblade, friend versus friend, and he's hard as shit, and I've rage quit this fight so many times.
Yeah. Good boss.
You beat Riku, and he disappears, and the Disney fucks tell Sora to go lock the keyhole, but he can't, because it's not a complete keyhole, it's not completed. They gotta wake up Whitebread first.
Right.
So Sora looks down at the Keyblade of Heart that Riku left behind, and knowing it unlocks Heart, and he stabs himself. So a soft piano rendition of the opening Simple and Clean comes in as the Keyblade turns back into the hearts of the other 6 princesses, returning to them, and Sora and Kairi's hearts fly out of Sora's chest. Kairi's returning into Kairi, causing her to wake up, just in time to see Sora fade into sparkles and light.
Where does Sora's heart go? Do we find out?
Okay, well, Sora's heart has now been released. So, this isn't well explained, but essentially, when a heart leaves a body protects a heart from the darkness. So, basically what the Heartless have been doing is they just rip the heart out, and then the heart gets consumed, because a heart can't survive on its own.
Right.
The reason that like Kyrie's could and the rest of these princesses could is because the princesses of light have no darkness in their hearts at all. Right. They are hearts of nothing but pure light, whereas most people have a mix of light and darkness.
I feel like Jasmine has a little bit of darkness in her heart. She feeds a man to her tiger at one point.
Question it.
Don't question it. She's all light. She's a Disney princess. Disney does nothing wrong.
And Alice sort of that bit about her cheating on her taxes as well.
But Sora, in his last moment, falls into Kyrie's arms right as he fades into sparkle, and Sora falls to darkness. Also, meanwhile, behind him, the keyhole of darkness kind of glows, which definitely isn't a bad thing. But then, a sexy tan boy with silver hair and the Heartless emblem, which I never mentioned this, but all of the Heartless have this emblem somewhere on them. And that's important.
Is this old Riku?
No.
The hair looks
This is
similar.
the true form of Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. So he is now fully taken over. He's more than just a voice. He is the whole ass, Ansem.
So where's Riku's body? Is this separate? He's almost like...
Riku's
body sparkles.
This
away.
is Riku's body, so it's kind of implied, and this
Riku, not Sora. Riku.
Oh.
This comes from later games, but it's kind of implied that the heart dictates the form of a body.
Right.
So if there's two hearts in there and one takes over, it will change the form of a body to match the image that heart dictates. And we'll leave it at that.
I've made a conscientious choice not to ask questions like this anymore.
Do you have another question?
The answer is always worse than what my immediate assumption is, so I'm just going to take my assumption, which was, he's taken over Riku's body because he's possessed him and he's strong now.
Essentially, yes.
Cool.
We can leave it at that. We can leave it at that. So he's all, the keyhole is complete. We don't need Kyra anymore. And he goes to kill them all. But an apparition of Riku appears, telling him to run as a bunch of Heartless appear.
Cool. Telling who to run?
Kyrie and Double and Goober.
Right. Cool.
He's
Beast,
like,
is
run.
Beast still there?
Beast ran off with looking for Belle a while ago. So they run, and the camera kind of watches them run down the hallway, and it zooms back, and we see one Heartless. Just one of the little grunt Heartless watching them. And then you get to play as the Heartless.
Oh!
You get to play as this little skittery boy.
Very cool.
And he's running about.
That's quite sweet, really.
I know.
Cute, yeah.
He's running about. And he's chasing after the good guys.
Wait for me!
Yeah. And he catches up to them, and Kyrie, it kind of stops in front of everyone, and Kyrie walks forward, and they're like, no! But Kyrie's like, no! It's Sora! It's Sora, after he became a Heartless.
Why?
Because when his heart fell to darkness, that turns it into a Heartless.
Yeah, but why is he acting like this?
Because he's a being of pure evil now. But Sora has a really strong heart, so he's retaining...
But he doesn't have a heart.
Well...
He's heartless.
Is this a don't question it?
Don't question it.
We're so close to the end of this game.
It's a Heartless made of Sora's heart. Don't question it. So Kyrie's like, I'm going to protect you from the Heartless, and gives him a hug, which turns Sora back into himself for reasons.
Through the power
Friendship
of friendship.
and
There
heart.
is an actual reason. It has something to do with her being a princess of heart, but I'll be honest, I don't remember it, so I'm not going to go into it.
It's fine.
Doesn't sound important.
No.
It's not important to the important plots. So they hug it out, everyone claps, and the Beast shows up. The Beast shows up, and he's like, I'll fend off the Heartless, go to Traverse Town. Sure. So you go back to Traverse Town.
Wait, what? I don't remember this.
Yeah, right,
I thought it's final boss time. Is this not the end of the game?
You take a brief, 5-minute pit stop in Traverse Town to have,
God.
one cutscene.
Okay, cool.
Basically, you go back to drop Kyrie off somewhere that isn't the center of evil.
Cool.
And for her to have a cute little moment in the sewer cave, where she's like, I want to come help, and he's like, no, we'll always be together, and she gives him a charm, saying that this charm represents our promise that he'll come back. She's like, promise that you'll give me back this charm one day. Cool. And he's like, I promise.
What does the charm look like?
It looks like a powder fruit.
Cool.
But it's made out of shells, which is an important thing. This is like Destiny Island tradition that they create charms made of shells.
Cool.
That look like the Papu fruit to give to people they care about. I'm just gonna read out this note. So, this is very clear. A 3 a.m. note. Kairi tells him they got to go save Riku, but he's all, "Nuh-uh, you are a girl and no girls on adventures. This is big boy time." Kairi, taking all the credit, says that they only made it this far because they stuck together. Haha, get it? Because she was in his heart. Haha. And Sora tells her that she'd be in his way. He straight up is like, "You're in my..." Or...
And she's immediately regretting giving him this necklace.
No. Sora's like, "You're in my way." And she's like, "Ha ha ha ha. Okie dokie, Sora Poo."
Wait, is that what she says? That sounds like a Kairi thing that she would say.
It's something along those lines.
Dokie.
Which actually, this is when she gives him the charm.
Right.
Is after...
I'm a big boy. It's big boy, bigger shoes.
She's like, "Bring it back to me," and every death flag shoots up at once.
I'm off to fight a guy with a key with my duck and my cow.
Now we go back to the final Hollow Bastion.
Wait, we go back,
Oh wait, what? Okay.
So now...
I thought we go to Destiny Island. But I don't remember this now.
No. That's later.
Oh god, is this not the end? Make it stop.
It's okay, the next game is shorter.
It is.
And then we get into the way longer game.
Okay.
Give it to me.
So, first we get a cutscene, with Riku, and he's wandering through a winding path through an endless blackness. And he's wondering if this is the afterlife, if he's dead. He's calling out for Sora and Kairi, saying how he made a mistake and he can't go until he sees them one more time. And then a voice calls out to Riku, and it tells him that it has the other Keyblade, which is not his Keyblade. It's a third Keyblade, actually.
Right.
No. What does the voice sound like? Would we recognize it?
It's just a voice, man.
Okay.
I forget if you actually hear the voice
Oh,
here.
is it
or
one of
if
these
it's just,
silent
It might
texts?
be. I
Okay.
don't remember. In any case, I'm not going to tell you. The one belonging... So it tells him that it has the other Keyblade, the one belonging to this world, and that it's going to be there soon. The voice has been trying to get through to Riku, but the darkness in his heart has been keeping it away.
Cool.
And it tells Riku that his heart ultimately won the battle against darkness, but it was too late for his body. So that's why he was able to come back as like a light force ghost.
Yeah.
Because his heart survived, but his body was already lost to Ansem. And it tells him that the door to darkness will open soon, but they can't enter it. It needs to be closed from both sides to stop the denizens of darkness from invading the world of light.
Oh, no.
And to do this, they need 2 keys and 2 hearts. Gasp. They go back, and Sora meets with all the princesses who have stuck behind, using their light to hold back the darkness from the portal. Kind of like putting like a light shield in front of it. They're like, "It's coming out, it's pouring." And they tell you that Ansem's gone, that when the keyhole opened, the darkness ate Ansem, and as it ate him, he was smiling. Ooh, spooky. And then Sora actually leaves Hollow Bastion.
Cool. Where's he going?
Where's he off to?
What's his plan?
What's he thinking?
He seems pretty aimless. I don't think he's got a plan.
Can I just, while we're on a little pause here,
Yeah.
why does I really always sort of resent the character pulls through because they've just got a stronger heart thing. I fucking hate that. It's the same.
You are going to hate so much more of this series.
It's like it's like the it's like I hate that we keep coming back to Harry Potter. We've done it twice. Always resent it. Like the thing. It's like for the first time in history, the killing curse didn't work because a mother sacrificed herself with love in her heart for a child, implying that had never happened in history before, and it was like she was the most caring, loving mother. I always resent these poor little bastard heartless running around. It's like, well, you shouldn't have
cheated on your taxes.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. Yeah.
So, I feel like I forgot to document this. Technically, all the Final Fantasy characters are there as well.
Cool. Yeah, the whole gang.
Yeah, everyone's there. And they're like working the machine or something. I don't know. Some shit like that. Okay. So, and they're the ones who actually send you to the final, or the end of the world. End of the world. Which is a desolate void at the edge of the universe. Which is a place where the final remains of the world's destroyed by the Heartless laid. Which is not how it works, but okay. Kingdom Hearts 1. Everything gets retconned in this game.
That's fine.
So it kind of just looks like a bunch of scattered island pieces floating. So I have this part highlighted. It's the first part in my script I have highlighted because it's the most important part.
Right.
Along the way to Ansem, we find the single most important room in the game. More important than any of this King Hearts bullshit Keyblade Darkness. And it's this machine. This machine right here that I feel like only 10% of the audience will recognize.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
I would be shocked if you did. But you need to know it. It's important.
Okay. What's in it? What does it do?
So it's just a machine. And it's got this glowing orb in the center and like 6 pods around the bottom. And a little terminal at the base.
Right.
And examining it will bring up dialogue saying the scattered darknesses to come together to ravage and destroy all worlds to create the great heart. One heart to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them Kingdom Hearts. It does not say that. I took artistic liberty.
Yes.
And Kingdom Hearts contains a great darkness.
Is this a Xehanort thing?
No.
Fuck.
This
This is a phase 2 thing.
Oh my god.
This
All right.
is a Union Cross thing.
Jesus. Okay.
This is a Union Cross thing.
Are you going to tell us today or tomorrow what this does?
No. You just need to remember it. I'll come back to it later.
Okay.
Whenever we do the phase 2 video one day.
Okay.
But it talks about the progeny of darkness to return to his eternal darkness once the bearer of light opens the path.
Right.
7 hearts, 1 keyhole, 1 key to the door. The door to darkness tied by 2 keys. The door to darkness to seal the light.
One ring to rule them all.
Essentially.
So it does a bad thing.
Yeah, it does a bad thing.
Scary machine.
I will leave you with just giving you its name. This is the Ark.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you anything else about it.
Okay.
So, you keep going, and basically you're kind of going through portals deeper into the darkness, and you find Chernobog. And he has the best music because it's from Fantasia. And it's not important. I just wanted to include him because he's cool. So at the end, you find a lone door. Approaching, you hear a voice telling you that this will be your last haven, warning of impending doom ahead. You pass through the door and find yourself on Destiny Islands!
What?
But I thought I was thrown into darkness.
Well, we're in the darkness now.
Oh,
We've
no.
been going deeper and deeper and deeper into the darkness to get here.
Is it all dark?
Is it all gloomy and dark and miserable?
Not at first.
Okay.
Does become. You look around again, and you eventually go to the cave, which I'll tell you is the cave's right there. Mm-hmm. That's where the cave is. Okay. And you hear again, the world has become connected. And as you hear that, that's when the world starts breaking apart.
Oh, okay.
And parts of it fade. Crystals of darkness jut out from trees. And at the edge of the island is Ansem. For some reason, in the form of Dark Riku. For reasons.
Okay.
And this is the part from the opening movie trailer when, like, Dark Riku's in the water and the wave comes over and Sora, like, runs to him.
Oh, okay.
Because the entire opening movie trailer spoils the entire game. And it's great. I love it. So, he says that to a heart seeking freedom, this island is a prison surrounded by water. And so this boy sought an escape from his prison. He sought a way to cross over worlds, and he opened himself to darkness.
So Riku brought the darkness to Destiny Island?
Yes.
Because he wanted to leave.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Jesus.
Because he wanted to leave.
Yeah. And whilst this,
seems a bit
at
hard.
least in Kingdom Hearts 1 canonicity does reference Riku, it could be read very differently in the context of later canonicity.
Okay. But for now,
because
Riku's
that very
the
much
cause of this.
describes, actually considerably better describes a different character.
Right.
Okay, we're just doing this in release
No, I
order.
don't- yeah, I don't-
Yeah, we're doing this in release
I
order, which
wanna-
is even if we went in timeline order, this would be like the 5th game we discussed.
Yeah, you looked at me as if I was about, I don't know what's happening right now.
So, Riku form shifts back into Ansem, Seeker of the Darkness, who tells Sora that Riku's heart belongs to the darkness and can no longer be reached. All hearts and all worlds came from the darkness, and to the darkness they will return, and to Ansem, darkness is the true essence of the heart.
Right.
But Sora believes that there's an undeniable darkness in all hearts, but there's also light.
In every heart.
Yeah. Yeah, in every heart.
Every one.
In every single one.
Okay.
So you defeat Ansem, and he pulls you into an abyss where he reveals to you a glowing door, the heart of all worlds, Kingdom Hearts.
So this is Kingdom Hearts. This door.
Yes. Well, technically, it is the door to Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Serious question for you.
Yes.
What is Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts is...
Right now. Not whatever you've got in your mobile video game book.
Okay.
Right now, what do we understand Kingdom Hearts
In the
to be?
canonicity of Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts is the heart of all worlds. It's the progenitor of hearts, essentially.
Right, okay.
It's the source of all light from wit or darkness.
So the fucking
from which everything
Big
else
Bang of...
Yeah, essentially.
Right.
And in the canonicity of Kingdom Hearts 1, it is the realm between light and darkness. Which is why there is a door to light and a door to darkness, and it's between those doors.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this door itself isn't Kingdom Hearts, this is the door to light, which through it is Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Yeah. So they opened, so this is the final door. They opened the final door, and he wants to shove the Heartless in there.
Sure.
So that it can eat Kingdom Hearts like it ate the hearts of other worlds.
Oh, and then like basically every world will be plunged into darkness.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So then Ansem turns into a boat.
I remember this. This is what I remember. I thought after you fight Riku at Hollow Bastion, it's like Ansem appears, boss fight. I don't remember anything that happens between it. Look at Neil's face. There he is.
Hop on my fleshy back. Let's go for a ride.
Is it really a Final Fantasy game if it doesn't end in a fight against God? Looking grotesque.
Look at him.
You can see, like, yeah, Ansem's up there. Ansem is turned into, like, an angel that is, like, fused into the top of a demon on top of this boat.
Yeah, let's go on.
But he shoots you out of the sky, or you shoot it out of the sky, and as it falls, you hear Riku's voice teasing him, asking him if he's giving up already, and that he knows Sora's stronger than that. Nope. Sora flies up out of the abyss and engages the aircraft carrier. Again, as
the
well,
aircraft carrier,
as well as Ansem, who is now flying around shirtless.
Yeah.
Because we need to see those rippling abs of darkness. Upon defeat, they all explode, and Ansem returns to his normal form. We are so close to the end of this game. Ansem then tells Sora that his efforts are futile. The Keyblade alone cannot seal the door to darkness. And he reaches out to Kingdom Hearts. He's like, fill me with the power of darkness. But as the door begins to open, Sora's like, you're wrong. I know that, without a doubt, that Kingdom Hearts, and it flashes to Ansem, is light. And light pours from the door. Ansem screams, is devoured, and is no more.
Oh. Suck a dick, Ansem.
Suck a dick, Ansem.
Cool. We win.
Wow.
But he was right. You can't close the door with one Keyblade. So the door's still open. The Heartless can still get in there and fuck shit up.
So now what?
Well. It's Sora goes up and he's like trying to push the door closed, and he can't do it. It's not closing. But suddenly a hand comes out and is like, "Don't give up, Sora!" And it's Riku.
What?
And he's like,
Yes.
"We can do it together."
Yay,
And
friends.
together they close the door.
Yes.
But as they're closing the door, a bunch of dark sides, because there's many dark sides now, come up from behind Riku, and they're gonna go get him. But then Mickey shows up, and he's like, "I have a Keyblade."
Where have you been, you listless wank?
Look
Where
at this
have you
fucking
been?
rat. Also, I would like to put this out here now because it's incredibly important for future canonicity. Please note that he is shirtless.
Why is that important?
It's
not on camera.
It's important.
They make me put it on for Mickey's Playhouse.
All that you need to remember is that in Kingdom Hearts, don't worry, I'll come back. I'll re-explain this when we get to when it's important. But Mickey is shirtless, and I really need you to remember that.
Free the nip. It's not important. What?
Honestly, can we just? I know we're close to the end of this. What a useless piece of shit. What's he been doing?
Where's he been?
Sora closed all the world.
He's been looking for this Keyblade.
Why? Where was it?
It was in the realm of darkness.
No, why?
So this is a Keyblade of darkness, and you need, in order to close the door, he needed the Keyblade of light, which is Sora's Keyblade, and the Keyblade of darkness, so that they can both close the door from its respective sides.
Could you have done...
One of light and darkness.
So you couldn't have closed this door with the Keyblade of Hearts?
No. You can open it with it, but you can't reclose it.
Okay, I would like to give Mickey a little bit of defense here, which is the letter he leaves Donald and Goofy at the start would be a million pages long to explain everything you've just explained to make this remotely make sense. Oh, guys, I've had to go get my keyblade for the Realm of Darkness. What? Like, what the fuck is happening, Mickey?
Technically, he also had a little sojourn where he found...
I'm a cartoon cow.
I don't know where I am.
Technically, he also had a small sojourn where he found Aqua, but we're not going to go into that.
Oh.
Who's Aqua? I don't know who that is.
No.
So Mickey's like, Sora, close the door. And Sora's like, but you're in there and Riku's in there. And he's like, don't worry, there will always be a door to the light. So Sora and Riku are like, I'll see you later, bro.
Oh.
We're friends again. And they close the door, and as it closes, it fades into nothingness. It's gone, it's closed. And Sora, Donald, and Goofy, as it closes, we see that they're on that path that Riku was on before. The one just wandering through darkness.
Okay.
So Sora looks back and he sees that Kairi has stood on the remains of Destiny Island. He rushes out to her as the island starts drifting apart, because one thing I forgot to mention is that when Ansem was defeated, it was kind of implied that all the worlds would go back to where they were. Why that happens? Who knows? That's not how things should work, but whatever.
Okay.
So all the worlds go back to normal, and he sees her on a piece of Destiny Island as it drifts back. For some reason, he doesn't jump on it because he needs to go find Riku. And he's like, go back to Destiny Island where you'll be safe. I'll come find you one day. And then the barriers return and Sora is gone forever. Forever. Flash forward some time and we see Sora, Donald, Goofy walking along a nice green path. Sora's like, oh, we need to find Riku and Mickey. And then Pluto appears.
What?
And he has a new letter with that fucking rat seal. And then he runs off into the hills and the trio chases them off onto their next adventure.
Roll credits.
Roll credits. But not so fast.
No, I don't want to.
Because I need to tell you about this Ansem Reports that I kept talking about the whole time.
Yeah.
Just for context, Monty said we were allowed to start drinking after we finish the first game. How long are the reports?
It's like one.
Okay.
Like one page.
Cool. Yeah, just hit us with them.
So I'm going to hit you one after another. There are 13 reports in total. So, report 1. Ansem is seen by the world as a sage who has saved them with his knowledge, but he fears that he needs to know more about the darkness born in people's hearts before it consumes all. Cool. Report 2. He conducted experiments where he ripped the hearts out of children and cultivated darkness in them.
Jesus Christ.
Ansem's kind of a terrible human being.
Oh, all right.
He is an awful human being. He just did a shit ton of child experiments.
Okay.
That becomes more relevant later. So he kind of notes that human hearts are really fragile. And in the basement of his castle where he's been discarding the husks of empty hearts, shadowy beasts have been forming from them.
Cool, so he's learning about the Heartless being created from it. Okay.
Yes, because in Report 3, he names them the Heartless, and notes that they don't have emotion and are multiplying. Report 4, he gives them child sacrifices and notes how they thrive on them.
What's happening, Chase?
I told you the Ansem Reports are great!
This is a Disney game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, alright.
This is the supplemental material they managed to sneak in past Disney.
I will say, I am not 100% sure if these were in the original 2002 release of the game. These may have been added into the later PS4 HD remake.
Right.
To tie it better, because in later games they absolutely added additional scenes to kind of smooth over the retconning and make things feel like they had been part of canon the whole time.
Do you think anybody at the House of Mouse is aware that these reports exist in their friendship
I think if you look into it, you might find out that, Walt was a big fan of child sacrifice.
It's true.
Little I know about him. Probably right up his street.
Also, there are much worse things in this game. This is still tame compared to where we get later.
Yeah, it's normally like horrible things are coloured with.
Okay, number 5.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, I want to get drunk. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, this can get so bad when we're drunk. So number 5, observing a Heartless one day, he falls into the depths of a castle where it makes a door appear that Ansem has never seen before. On the other side, he sees a massive energy. That night, he sees a meteor shower, which he questions if is related to him opening that door.
Okay.
6. Noting that the Heartless are drawn to the energy behind the door, he hypothesizes it to be the heart of the planet and questions what the Heartless want with it.
Okay.
7. Studying pieces from the meteor shower, he notes how they're elastic and meld to each other easily. He notes them to be foreign to this world and it excites his curiosity about worlds beyond his own.
Cool.
8. For the sake of continued experimentation, Ansem creates a machine to artificially create Heartless. He notes that this may be a step in artificially creating a heart. The artificial Heartless are near identical to those created naturally, so to differentiate from the Heartless that created naturally, so to differentiate his Heartless, he puts an emblem on them.
Right. Okay.
The wee red and black one.
Yeah, that emblem.
So he is an artificial Heartless. This
well,
being.
He himself is a natural Heartless, but he rules over the artificial Heartless. And he's been creating artificial Heartless.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I'm not okay. I'm sorry, no, I'm just genuinely not following. So, there out with him, there are Heartless and...
So, Heartless are a naturally occurring denizen of the darkness. Yeah. That's why I remember back all the way at the start when I said Darkseid was a pure-blooded Heartless.
Yeah.
So, those, the small skittery boys... Those are pure blood. They are created purely from darkness and from hearts being lost. However, you face a shit ton more variations of Heartless, and including all the bosses that all have these emblems.
Right.
These are all Heartless that Ansem has been artificially creating.
So the majority that you fight throughout the game in this first one are artificial ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
The majority.
Right.
Okay. Unless they're little scary boys.
So was he on board then with... letting all the natural Heartless through as well? It's not like there's a division in his mind.
No. He just the artificial were just in an experiment. He can control the shit.
Right.
Okay, but he doesn't necessarily think they're better than the natural ones. Okay. Or
as long as they're there, he's happy.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that he can control those ones and he can't control the natural ones. I think, but I might be wrong about that. Wow. Number 9. He meets a visitor from another world, a king who came in a ship made out of the meteor pieces, which we learned to be called gummy blocks.
Great. Does he describe the king? Is it King Mickey?
It's King Mickey.
Thank you.
I don't think it describes it, but it's King Mickey.
Cool.
So discuss a lot of topics, most interesting of which is the Keyblade, which holds phenomenal power. He notes how it must be related to the door he opened, and he needs to know more. Does it say? Yes, it does say here. Number 10. The darkness and the heartless both comes from one's heart, so the core of a world is the world of a heartless. Ansem must know, so he will seek out the Keyblade wielder and princesses, but his body is frail, so he will throw it aside and cast himself into the darkness.
Right.
11. Opening the door caused the walls to crumble. The pieces of said wall can travel between worlds. The Heartless were the catalyst of this collapse, and the Keyblade, however, can seal the doors, making the hearts unobtainable, so he has captured a princess to hopefully drop the Keyblade wielder.
Cool.
So, the gummy ship, or the gummy blocks, rather. Remember how I said originally that there were barriers between the world?
Yeah.
When you open the door to your keyhole, that barrier collapses, and the gummy blocks rain down, that comprised the barrier, rain down on your world. Cool. So because these come from space, that's why you can make spaceships out of them to travel between worlds.
Meteor stuff is quite prevalent in quite a few of the OPs, if I remember correctly. So is that just a reference, in a sense, to Ansem seeing the Heartless for the first time, the meteors, the gummies?
Sometimes
is that just a reference to that?
In Kingdom Hearts 1, it's a reference to that. In later, it might be a reference to light or hearts.
Cool. Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
if there's ever a meteor shower, I will explain.
Sure.
12!
Wow!
He notes that while his body's gone, his heart has not returned to the Heartless. Its memories remain, so it must be observed. He also notes that to get to the realm of darkness, one must pass through Kingdom Hearts, where the world's hearts connect.
Cool.
And finally, 13. Where does the body go when it separates from the heart? The physical form disappears from this world, but may exist in another. If so, it's possible to exist in two worlds at once as a shell of the former self. This shell, which does not exist, shall be known as a nobody.
We are going to stop there.
Thank God.
Yes. Yeah, well done. That is very, very, very good start. We're going to stop there for now. We are going to go for a break, and when we come back, we are going to cover Chain of Memories. This is going to take place in the next video, which will be linked below. Thank you very much for watching.